Greetings and welcome to Winning Saturday Night. How's everybody doing out there? Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well and living well. Thank you to all the YouTube members scrolling at the bottom of the screen there. Appreciate you guys supporting the channel and getting that prepaid super chat every month waiting for you. Ladies and gentlemen, we started early tonight because we are going to go to Donald Trump is speaking at the Libertarian convention right now. He's getting ready to go live any second. So I wanted to jump on that and give us something else to talk and look at tonight. We're going to do that, get into good news. I'll comment on the Ricada stuff eventually. And then we'll do some funny videos. Hey guys, how you doing? Let me welcome the crowd real quick. T-Rex, thank you. Happy Saturday. I'm quitting Prime. Okay. Well, you got to tell me more about that, buddy. Good luck in whatever you do. I know you'll be successful. Wolfram, thank you for dropping this links, bud. Thank you. Thank you. Wipes his paws, Libson and House. Daisy Girl Williams dancing away, doing the chicken dance. She's here with us tonight. How you doing, Daisy? And Jacob Castro, my bud. How you doing, man? Good to see you. Good to see you. Suzanne, hello. Suzanne, welcome. So happy that you're here. I got everything all ready to go. As soon as he takes the stage, I think Mike Lee just made a great speech there, man. He just made a great speech at the Libertarian convention. And Vivek spoke yesterday, and I actually saved that too. So we'll see what he has to say, where I can fit that in. Almost ready to do another Winning 2024 maybe. But yeah, we are off and rolling, guys. Yeah, a little bit early tonight, but we're jumping on it. I wanted to make sure that I got this live for you guys. Right now they're playing on My Pillow commercial, so I'm just waiting. Let's see. T-Rex says he's updating, not quitting driving, just leaving Prime. The internal structure is awful and no policies are actually written down. They make them up on the spot. Oh man. I hear you. Well, I know you'll keep on trucking. I know you'll keep on trucking. Let's see. I want to make sure that I got very low volume here on the back end so that I'm ready to pop up the speech. Yeah, again, Donald Trump is speaking at the Libertarian convention. Like, this is their big convention of the year. And it should be interesting because not all libertarians are down with Donald Trump, but Mike Lee made a good point about how we do have things in common, how it does work well with them, and how he does want libertarian things to happen. While I might not agree on everything, Mike is also introducing and the Fed bill, which takes me back to the Ron Paul days. I love that. I hope that goes through. He's an old school. He actually was endorsed by Ron Paul at one point when he first ran, I believe. I remember him getting the endorsement from the man himself. And also he said he is going to introduce a no central bank digital currency act. So he's on top of it too. We got good people in there that are chipping away at the Agenda 2030 and the WEF. Got news on that as well. With their founder and leader taking a knee and bowing out. So we'll try. Hopefully, I save that. It should be. We're coming on. Let's see. I'm watching on another screen here. Put this right here for now. Thank you for spending your Saturday night. And we'll just mute that for a second so I can keep an eye on it. There we go. All right, Jacob, what's up? It's like that everywhere. Yeah. I found a new job already. I'll be home 2 days out of 5 days with guaranteed weekly pay no matter how many miles I drive, as long as I'm out on the road. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome, dude. Well, don't dox your employer here. Keep that to yourself, buddy. But I can't wait to hear more about it. Yeah, I know Medicare's streaming too. Yeah, everybody's on the Griff streams, man. I'm not gonna, like I said. Well, let's see, how much time do we have here? The announcement yet? That being said, okay, she's still talking. President Trump is expected to come on this stage, and he will be met with all kinds of different. Okay, yeah. So he's coming up soon. Yeah, the reason, man, I've seen people. This whole thing is taking a different kind of hit on me. Yeah, I'm wishing him the best. He better take this as a wake up call and get his shit together. Like I'm not gonna kiss his ass over this. But I'm also not going to grift off of it either. Like, I mean, I get it. And it makes me think that I'm not doing this right, or I'm in the wrong business, because it just, I knew the opportunity was there. I saw it. I just didn't want to take it. I just didn't want to take it. I'm going to wait and let Nick say what Nick has to say. All right. And then after I hear what he has to say, then I'll make my mind up about it. I have some thoughts on a lot of things, including his the lawsuit he's in, and other things that have come up for him in his life during this time, this weird time, this regression in his life. But I'm also, I'm also wanting to give it a little bit of time before I speak, because I want to hear how he's going to approach it, what he's going to come out with. He's going to tell me everything I need to know before I open my mouth and say something. Because I'd rather know the truth to be right. And there might be a lot of speculation out there. I know on the surface, it looks very much like what it is. And I'm sure that we got a lot of the story already, but we have all seen the decline. It's not fun to watch, but we knew it was coming. I guess most of us did. Hey, what's up, Outpost? How you doing, man? So there's a lot of people in South. I mean, I've seen so many people that I didn't even know existed covering this, right? I've seen a whole new world of part of the internet, or part of the YouTube, I guess, streamers, and that I didn't even know existed, man. These podcast streams, these guys, I don't even know what they do, but they got tons of followers, tons of people. I don't know. So I guess there's a place for everybody in this streaming world. But man, it's just a whole slew of people. People didn't know him, didn't hang out, hadn't watched him, are suddenly covering this. It's grift on Rekieta, the king of grifters. I guess it's all well and good. The funny part is, and I'll talk about this a little bit later, is like, the predictions for this were kind of baked in a little bit to the LawTube is Getting Weird parody series. Like I one of the things I said was, like, when LawTube launched, as like, and he started going down that unbreaded kind of vein, and was getting to having those wastoid streams. I was like, the irony would be if at the end of this, all the LawTube that he had created were ended up watching him on trial. I don't like being right about things. But yeah, I was in Meme Copium's chat. I went to Memes for the initial shock stream. He did a great job. He said a lot of cool things. I love Meme. He's awesome. He's a cool dude, man. He's one of my friends, and that was a good place to be. It was like a reunion in there. Even Monograph was in there. It was wild. It's a wild time. And you know what? Monty showed a lot of class during all this. He didn't go in there and rake him over the coals, and he just chilled. He showed a lot of class, man. All things being said, but I'll get into all that stuff later on. We are on the verge of Donald Trump talking at the Libertarian convention here, and it's pretty exciting, because the Libertarian crowd is one we need to win over. We need to get these guys on board. They weren't quite on board. They weren't quite on board in 16 and 20. For all those who split off and went, from the Ron Paul revolution and went back to the Libertarian Party and been kind of, dwelling there. They've had some bad choices of candidates. They've had some, what I would call some fake libertarians in there, or some people that were just grifting them, to get the nomination, get them whatever money, get it. Did they, Gary Johnson's flip was just phenomenally tragic. How he went out on the attack against Trump. He couldn't recognize the anti-establishment he once said he stood with. Very disappointing. I know libertarians can be very hard-nosed, and it's wild because they can be very by the book, but like to a fault by the book. But at the same time, also want to be completely free and to do whatever they want to whenever they want to. So it's a little ironic, right? Like, I don't think a lot of them realize that we're actually already in a battle. We're actually already in a type of modern civil war, and I know that's a phrase that Tim Pool has worn out, and it offends some people, or it people have different takes on what that means, but you guys know me. I'm coming from a place of, you know, granular level, right? So, you know, we've been fighting for this country for our entire lives. We just don't realize it. You know, it's like, and it's starting to come to fruition about how this whole mind control establishment, uh, false left right paradigm thing has worked out in our lifetime. How we've been living with this illusion of choice. They don't seem to get it. Some of them don't, but you know, hopefully, Trump can reach some of them tonight, because we really do need their support. They do mean well, and I think that you know, having them, the majority of them back in the fold with the true anti-establishment would be a big win for us. So I'm hoping that this goes really well. I'm excited for it. Please help Captain Kern and his family with house repairs. Very bad storm. Yeah, how about Captain Kern? I don't know him personally, but you know, his family and him are suffering and hurting right now. So I hope he gets all the help that he can get. So good luck to you, Captain Kern. Maybe I'll meet you one day. Winning, one of his so-called lawyer pals went into my comic books group live stream trashing Nick. Yeah, that's one thing I don't want to do. I don't want to trash Nick, but I'm coming at this like a father. Let me just tell you that right now. I'm coming at this like a father, and I'm waiting to hear what he has to say about all this, and then I'll be able to know what I want to say more so, because right now it's a lot of things. But I'm coming at this like a father. Let's see, hold on. We're still waiting. We're still waiting. This camera shot doesn't tell me a lot, so I'm kind of just going with what I see here. A little wobbly, a little blacked out. Rabbit, thank you so much. It's always great when you're here. I know that you're always here in spirit or here in the background, but thank you. And we're always thinking and praying for you too as well. I'm just praying for Nick and his family. I am too, and I'm praying that Nick does the right thing and just drops the bullshit. Right? I don't want to. I'm hoping he doesn't come out and make a bunch of excuses and tries to find a way back into that, you know, that scene or something like that. I got a lot to say on this, man. I've been with the party lifers, man. I've been with it. You know, he's a he's a noob in that scene. He thinks he's a genius at it, and it was easy to predict that something like this was going to happen. Because, you know, well, I don't want to go into it too much right now. I got a ton to say about this. I got a ton to say about party life. I got a ton to say about demoralization. We literally witnessed the demoralization of somebody who had it all, right? He had it all. And I don't know what he was looking for, but I have a timeline in my head that starts about, you know, it starts about the time he started talking about his adult entertainment addiction. Can you say, kind of say prime? I mean, I don't want to sound like one of those stuttering idiots on here that are trying to remake words. Can I say porn? I'm just gonna say porn. All right. I think it kind of starts back there when he was talking about that. And I don't know, you know, I got stories. I got things I can talk about when it goes down that whole line. But what I was saying back then is that, you know, because he had married right out of college and then I guess been a virgin or whatever, you know, that he thinks he's missing out on something, and that he's had it so good he doesn't know how good he has it. And so he's looking outside of his marriage, he's looking outside of his blessings, and that was walking, that was a road to demoralization that was going to take him to places he had never been before. And teach him some very hard lessons if he doesn't pull back on his faith and his blessings. And while in his mind, he could have been very cognizant of all these things, what he didn't realize, being a noob in the party scene, is that even when you're not in party mode, you're not engaging in the party itself, because you're doing it so consistently, you've made it a lifestyle, and that your mind is never quite right, even when you are quote unquote sober. That's the tragedy of that scene. People in it don't realize they've normalized the habits, right? They've normalized the routine, the lifestyle, and they don't realize that what they've done to their own self, even in their sober states. I can go into a lot of details about, like, you know, what it must have been like waking up day to day you know, with that type of thing. Why he had the amount of weight he did, what they found at least, why that was that, you know, I have a lot of insider information into that scene, and not the swingers scene. That's a whole nother thing. But I can tell you pretty much, like, you know, why he may have ended up there. You know, but you know, just the regular party scene, and he was kind of isolated party scene as well. He wasn't like, you know, in a large community yet of party animals that were just around him, enabling him at all points. But that's the happy-go-lucky side of, you know, being a millionaire, is you can exist in your palace in a very degenerate and self-destructive ways very easily, and it can you know, you won't even see it coming. You won't even see it coming. You think you're going about things normally. You got it all under control. You don't even realize that you're lowering your IQ, lowering your motivation, lowering all kinds of things about yourself. It's like it's like a slow drip. I'm gonna say a slow drip. Let's see. Did I miss anything up here? Hey, Wolf Kinder, what's up? How you doing? Yeah, we're getting ready for Trump to address the Libertarian convention, man. It should be really good. I hope you'll stick around for that. Also, after that, we're going to do good news. I'll talk some more about the Nick thing, I guess, after this. I'm kind of just kind of buying some time now, waiting for President Trump to take the stage here at the Libertarian National Convention. I'm kind of like, I'm really curious to see how his approach is going to be on this too. I mean, I'm sure he's just going to be good old Trump. But, you know, will he take a different strategy because he, you know, knowing his audience? I'm really interested in seeing that. Demons got let in. They did, Daisy. They did get let in. And Nick had the kind of life, I think, when we all kind of discovered him, we saw, like, you know, the kind of life he was living. It was admirable. It was, you know, envious. You know, you met the perfect woman in college and you married her right out of college and had 5 kids, and you live in a, you know, a $750,000 beautiful place, and you homeschool your kids. You're doing it all right, man. You know, that's just a little whiskey, you know, and there's a lot of people that, you know, maybe taking a whiskey shot for every toast wasn't a good idea, you know, but that's when you gotta man up. That's when you got to know your limits. Whiskey is the worst liquor for anybody who's stressed out. If you're stressed out, say you're getting sued and you're spending hundreds of thousands of dollars, or you got channels that are literally taking your show, the worst parts of your shows, and trying to destroy you with it constantly. You got your wife's been attacked or had rumors, the stress, and there's day in and day out life. You know, there's that. There's all kinds of stressors, right? There's rock star syndrome. I talked about him like in the past. The rock star syndrome is when you hit the big time really fast, and all of a sudden your phone's ringing off the hook. You're getting texts. You got opportunities coming at you left and right. You got people that are smiling in your face and stabbing you in the back. You got all kinds of things coming at you daily. You're dealing with drama like nonstop. The phone never stops ringing, whether it's deals or people trying to get you to do this or get you to do that. It's rockstar syndrome. It never stops. And I've seen plenty of people go through it. Valhalla awaits. What is up? How you doing, man? All right, man. So you're here. I don't know how long I'll be here, but I gotta play this for you. I promised you if you came by anytime, I would play this for you. The guys, you guys have been here, so you've seen the funny videos intro, right? Valhalla has not seen it yet. So I'm hoping to make his day and make him laugh with this. So here you go, Valhalla. Let me just drop this real quick. And where is it at? Where is that? This is so good. You're gonna laugh when you see the picture I picked too. Here we go. Is that coming? Is that playing right? I don't think it played right. Hold on a second. Did I play right? Did that play right, guys? Let me do it one more time. Oh, okay. I don't know what's going on, whether it's my cat on the desk or what, but for some reason that didn't seem like it came out right. But hopefully that worked out for you on the outside. All right. HT, what's up? What's up, HT in the house? Oh man, that was a good one. So you're just holding these ducks, right? It's like out. We called it, like we called it back in the day. We called it out. It's so out. Out of space. Jacob has started streaming. Yes, good. I mean, I've been to some of them, but they haven't lasted that long enough for me to see what he was doing. But so you're back at it. Good. Go guys, definitely sub up and subscribe to Jacob Castro. And Wolfram got the link for you right there in the chat. Oh yeah. Rumble is being stupid. Nothing new. Okay. Right on. Let's see. We're still waiting. I'm glad I started early anyways. Since they're playing some music in the background or something. I don't know. All right. So we'll keep it right there. And as soon as we see him pop up on the screen, we'll unmute it and we'll go. So yeah, I don't remember what I was talking about before Valhalla popped in, because that was a pleasant surprise. I'm so happy that he has joined us this evening. We're usually streaming at the same time, so you don't get a chance to stop by very often. You doing Legos tonight? Let's see. RFK got them dang squeaky rubber chickens out of the crowd to heckle something with tonight. Really? Like, well, I don't. Is it? Yes, sir. 9. Cool. Oh, Rockstar Syndrome. Yeah, Rockstar Syndrome. Yeah, I mean, dude, his channel took off like a skyrocket. I mean, all of a sudden you got all this money coming in. You're the top dog. You've started this new thing called LawTube, that she didn't even like, right? And he tried to get away from it. I guess he knew from Killstream and other things in his past that he didn't want any part of that. But regardless, it launched him. It launched a lot of other channels. And if you were a lawyer and you knew him, happy days are here for you, man. You got it. So when that took off, man, whoa. But that launched the Rockstar Syndrome. I'm sure at that point he already had plenty of attention coming his way, but that just escalated it to a whole nother level. Not to mention the money, right? The money too. Coming in from that was just insanity. I mean, good times, right? Good times. The golden age of the new LawTube collective. But if you guys want to remember those times in a special way, you could always go back and watch, and I have a playlist. My LawTube is Getting Weird series. It just sits there because YouTube doesn't push it out. But it's a good way to remember the good times of the early days of LawTube is Getting Weird. Has a great little storyline that goes with it, which has an ironic ending. To say the least, don't call me a prophet, but I didn't go as far as what we're seeing today, but there was the whole thing about that the guy who created LawTube would eventually be watched by LawTube, and like in some sort of trial for some reason. Of course, in the parody universe, and as Lawtainment, that was just him in a trial, getting sued for not allowing a certain group to be in the competition, right? So I kind of put it that way. And then ironically, there was a face turn and a heel turn during that, and a couple of heel turns, but a face turn that people weren't expecting. So it's a fun little ride, full of great music. Lex, what's up? How you doing, man? Great to see you. Hope you're doing and living well, man. We're getting really close here. Am I live? Okay. They're playing that music, but that RSBN music that it's like Satriani. Somebody made this for him, but they're playing like what I would call Berkeley School of Music guitar. Steve Vai guitar, kind of like that. Here, I'll play a little bit of it. I'm sure it's not. It's got that really kind of like chorusy kind of distortion. and it's like playing these like these grown man chords. We used to call it grown man chords, grown man leads. That the freaking music theory leads, freaking just off the charts, melt your brain. We're getting close. We're getting close. Yeah, so like I said, I'm gonna wait for hey Enya, how's it going? I'm gonna wait for Nick to have his statement. Is Rumble struggling? Okay. To say what he has to say about it, and then I'll comment on it. I'll do the whole comments, and I'm gonna go into the demoralization like part of it. Like I'll have to make it associated with this. I'm not gonna grift off his tragedy, but I'm gonna talk about, of course, you know, well, I'm letting all the grifters get it out of their system right now. People that want to be first to market and talk about it. I'm gonna take what we saw and then what he has to say about it, and then I'm gonna go from there when I make my comment about it. I'm gonna have my stream about it. Probably be Wednesday. If he doesn't stream before then I'll put it off. Like I'm just not gonna go in with half the story. I'm not gonna do it. But I will have some things to say about his case that's current and what I think he should do with that case, what I think the state of that case is, and a few other odds and ends that relate to that case. So, you know, I got some things to say about that. I've kind of been holding back on for a long time. So I'm gonna let it fly. Come with me. It's the CEO over Rumble's son who make the music. Oh, really? Thank you, Daisy. You're full of great information. You are. We are live on Rumble and X. Lots of folks tuning in on X. They love the politics stuff over there. So, guys, I promise you can see it right here at the bottom of the screen. We're waiting for Trump. There he is. We're waiting for him. I guess I could do this. Okay, we'll keep it right there. That way it feels like I'm talking to you, right? What to come this year? Maybe I'll figure out how to make my avatar a little bit more active. Maybe I'll figure it out. Indy, how you doing? Welcome. Good to see you. How have you been? Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing really well. Hope you're doing really well over there. Yeah, we're waiting for Trump to address the Libertarian convention. Did I title this thing right? Yeah. Libertarian Party. Well, I was short on characters, so I said kind of the same thing. So I guess we're just like looking at all this stuff right now, waiting for him to get there. Fashionably late. I wonder if his the CEO of Rumble's son went to Berkeley College of Music. It really sucks. I mean, that's a Berkeley sounding guitar right there. Berkeley College of Music is where all the badasses go. That he starts going into his leads, his rips. You can like totally tell. It's like he's got that jazz background. Like they're big on the jazz background at Berkeley's College of Music. And you know, Jimmy Herring taught there. He taught there for a while. He was like one of the youngest instructors. He didn't teach there for that long. Joe Satriani. Who's the other dude? I can't think of his name right now. He was on tour with Johnny Depp. Berkeley College of Music grad. I mean, at one time I was like, well, I should go to Berkeley, you know. And when I was thinking about you know, and then there's a time where I was like, man, I shouldn't have gone back to college. I should have gone to Berkeley instead, because that's when I was really serious about playing guitar and music and stuff. But now I'm glad I didn't, because that place is expensive. Steve Perry. That place is Steve. Hold on. No, it's I'll think of it in a minute. Yeah, I need a few minutes. My synapses are firing to try to pull up that old information I haven't said in years. But yeah, Steve Vai was one of them. Steve Vai. And as you guys know, I have a new kitten, and he is just insistent upon being on my desk. And then, of course, the paws go right towards the keyboard, and I get nervous. I want to put you on the floor again. Stop putting your paws on the keyboard. You have to learn. Hold on. So when it's kitten time, I got to remember to put up kitten time. For some reason, this always goes back, and I have to go do it. Okay, like it's kitten time, right? It's kitten time. Ellie Font, what's up? How you doing? YouTube is censoring Piggy hard. Who's Piggy? Pigging. Censoring pigging hard. Pigging? Listen. I'm missing something. We still live? All right, cool. All right, good. No, I know that I'm live. I'm just making sure that I'm live on the Rumble stream because it seems to be glitching. Let's see how many people are in the crowd right now over on Rumble. 50,000 people in that stream waiting. Yeah, that's got to be putting a little bit of a strain on things. A little bit of a strain. That's like, I'm the overflow crowd, right? I'm the overflow crowd. So happy you guys are all here to watch this with me and watch it with everybody else here together. I think it'll be really good. Like I said, I'm interested in his strategy. How's his strategic approach, how the crowd's going to receive him. I don't know that he's done this before. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't know that he's spoken here before. If he did, I missed it. So then that would have been back in 2020. So what's going on, y'all? Oh yeah, Steve Perry of Journey. It's a great. It's like one of the most prestigious music schools in the world. You know, so yeah, a lot of badasses went to Berklee College of Music, including a drummer friend of, well, a guy who played drums in one of my bands a long time ago. He was a Berklee College grad too. Met an unfortunate end early in his life, and now it's a scholarship there. There's a scholarship with his name on it, thanks to his family. Tragic end, messing around with some stuff that that we had no idea was going on. Closet alcoholic. Though we did see him, like, you know, when he did get drunk, it was a mess. So he didn't really do that very much, and he was enabled, but he was still cruising around the party scene. He should have left us, left everything behind. But he would always be pretty much clear around us. I think he didn't want to leave the band, and everybody asked to leave the band. So he was always, he would show up with like a Mountain Dew, right? And he would take it easy. And he was always solid. But he unfortunately would let his dark side out when he was solo. So, drink alone, decide to go out or be out, have, a few too many, which is just a matter of time when you have that problem. And ended up somewhere with some people and basically got and was doing the thing that Nick just got caught doing when he wasn't really accustomed to it, I guess, that much. But to stay up and drink more. That's what alcoholics do that stuff for, by the way. And then I guess in order to put him to sleep, someone gave him a Dilaudid, and that was the end of it. So I think it might have been something else. I'm not sure if that was it or not, but it stopped his heart. So yeah, not good. However, he was a fine drummer. That's for sure. And thank you for posting that for Indy. Yeah, definitely. All right. Just waiting on Trump. That's what we do. Poor Shelly. I told her she's probably still snoozing right now. We got up early this morning to watch King and Queen, the King of the Ring, WWE, was in Saudi Arabia. So their pay-per-view started at like 11 a.m. this morning. So we got up for that and we watched that. And she got up extra early. It's at 9, so she may still be snoozing right now, but she'll catch up. She didn't know that I was going to start early because I decided that after I woke up from my nap. And oh shoot, I forgot something. Let's see, can I entertain here for 1 second? Let me see. Oh yeah. Well, rock it out, guys. Here you go. That's pretty much straight rock.
Angela
Here we go.
chair of the Libertarian National
Here comes the introductions. You guys hear that all right?
Loud, loud, loud.
What a beautiful crowd. Thank you guys so much for being here tonight. You know, I also invited Joe Biden and he did not attend. We have an incredible opportunity tonight, and I'm really grateful for it. Never in the history of the Libertarian Party has a former president and front-runner candidate for the presidency come to speak specifically to our concerns. Thank you all for making history with us. I want to continue this trend, so let's work towards that. I really appreciate you all. And without further ado, I would like to welcome to the stage the 45th President of the United States, Donald J. Trump.
It's so odd. You hear people like not happy that he's there. I mean, there's some in there, right? He's not used to that, so we'll see. They're saying end the Fed. See, that's good. I like that. Right. Still rolling here. Super fangirl. What's up? Oh, yeah? He's just going to be in the chat. Well, it's hopefully to let people, libertarians know that we're on the same page. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I mean, every vote counts, man, especially against this crooked establishment. Yeah, you need it. But we are on the same page. The Ron Paul Revolution was a combination of libertarians and paleo conservatives. You know, the only reason there's a hold on. I'm sure I'm getting copyrighted for that. The only reason there really is a libertarian party is because the neocons crashed the Republican Party. I mean, really, the Republican Party is supposed to be the Libertarian Party for the most part. You know, by charter. You know, by what it's supposed to stand for. That's the whole trick. It's like, you know, that's really kind of where we're supposed to be. Limited government, and that's what they want. They want no central banks. So, you know, these are the, you know, stay out of endless wars. The neocons came in there and smeared. They became the heels. They took over the GOP and turned it into what people think of it today. You know, and it's about that false left-right paradigm where they were just establishment tools the entire time. You know, they made it the party of the rich, the party of the war, and all that stuff like that. They did that. You know, it was supposed to be more like this. That's why there's so many. That's why you have so many people that believe the same things that are now part of the Republican Party. Here we go. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. I want to do this.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hey, I don't know what that is either.
Well, thank you very much, everybody, and thank you, Angela, for that introduction. And I am truly honored to be invited here tonight as the first president in American history to address the Libertarian National Convention. Great honor. A lot of people ask why I came to speak at this Libertarian convention, and you know, it's an interesting question, isn't it? But we're gonna have a lot of fun. Well, in the last year, I've been indicted by the government on 91 different things. So If I wasn't a libertarian before, I sure as hell am a libertarian now. And unlike Joe Biden, I don't throw people in jail for disagreeing with me. I don't do that. I want to thank some people that have been really outstanding, and they are great libertarians and great people. Ambassador Rick Grinnell, Senator Mike Lee, Kash Patel, and Senate candidate who's going to win from Virginia, Hung Cao. I also want to pay our deepest respects to the two young missionaries from
Sorry.
Missouri, Davy and Natalie Lloyd, that were viciously killed yesterday in Haiti. It was a horrible thing, and I just
Oh,
want
wow.
to pay our respects to their families. They're great families, incredible people, and it's a very, very sad moment. What happened was so horrible. So to Davy and Natalie, please, thank you very much. I'd also like to express my gratitude to all the fierce champions of freedom in this room. You are champions of freedom. You are indeed. And I'm here to talk to you about the rise of left-wing fascism in the country and to need to defeat the corrupt and incompetent tyrant in the White House, crooked Joe Biden, the worst president in the history of the United States. He is the worst president by far in the history of the United States. In fact, I would say that Jimmy Carter is very happy tonight because he goes down as being a brilliant president by comparison. Everyone here tonight believes that we must fight for the same fundamental freedoms: freedom of expression, freedom of religion, freedom of the right to own a firearm, and freedom over taxation. Oh, that was interesting. Then you're going to like me, firearm, you're going to like me. Nobody better than me. And we just got the full NRA, the strongest endorsement they've ever given the NRA. So that's good. Freedom from overregulation, freedom from government discrimination. And we believe that we do not have a free country if we do not have free speech, and very strongly believe that. We stand opposed to government tyranny in all of its many forms. We are opposed to a government that spies on political campaigns. I wonder who that might be. Like they did on me, spies on the American people,
Right?
censors
That's
us,
crazy,
and
isn't it?
crushes the rights of its own citizens, which the Biden administration does. We want government out of our business, out of our wallets, and out of our lives. That's what we want. We believe that Marxism is an evil doctrine straight from the ashes of hell. Having Marxism in our government is intolerable, and teaching it to our children is considered to us child abuse. We believe that the job of the United States military is not to wage endless regime change wars around the globe, senseless wars. The job of the United States military is to defend America from attack and invasion here at home. We believe that property rights are fundamental to a free society, and that Joe Biden's rampant inflation is a monstrous theft from the American people. It's a theft. We believe that the greatest threat to our country is not from enemies abroad. It's the tyrants, communists, fascists, and thugs attacking our rights and liberties from within. And above all else, we live by the words of the great American
You know, libertarians
patriot,
are all about
Patrick
legalizing
Henry.
drugs. So.
Give me liberty or give me death. Our rights and freedoms have never been more in danger than they are right now. That is why I have come to extend a hand of friendship to ask for your partnership to defeat communism, defeat Marxism, and defeat crooked Joe Biden, who is destroying our country. He's destroying our country. We can be libertarian or anything else. This man is destroying
There you go.
our country.
In the Fed. Say it. Talk about it.
Thank you.
Talk about it.
And by the way,
Take down that goddamn
why
sign.
isn't Joe Biden here speaking to you tonight? You know why?
He sucks.
Why isn't he? Because he can't put two sentences together. That's why he's not here. The fact is, we should not be fighting each other. If Joe Biden gets back in, there will be no more liberty for anyone in our country. Combined with us in a partnership, we're asking that of the Libertarians. We must work together.
Just do it, man.
Combine with us. You have to combine with us. We cannot give crooked Joe Biden 4 more years.
All right,
We
now.
cannot give crooked Joe Biden 4 more years.
Oh, so the people in the crowd think we
Today's
should?
radical left Democrat Party is not the
Dumbass.
Democrat Party of years ago, which still wanted big government, but at least believed in tolerance and free speech. Joe Biden's radical left Democrat Party is a fascist movement that wants to throw you in jail. If you post a meme they don't like, they want to throw you in jail if you do something that isn't quite to their liking. What you're witnessing under Biden is a toxic fusion of the Marxist left, the deep state, the military-industrial complex, the government security and surveillance services, and their partners, all merging together into a hideous perversion of the American system. And that's exactly what it is. The fact is that Joe Biden is a threat to democracy. My mission is to liberate our nation from these fascist frauds and to rescue our democracy, to restore our republic, and to evict crooked Joe Biden from the White House so that America can be a free nation once again. He's the worst in history. The Biden regime censors its critics, spies on its opposition, takes away the bank accounts of U.S. citizens as an extra form of punishment, persecutes Christians and patriotic parents, and is currently trying to put the leading candidate for president in jail. That happens to be me. While imposing a strict gag order in order to keep me from talking about their crimes and their unconstitutional acts. They want to get rid of the First Amendment, the Second Amendment, due process, the right to a fair trial, and the right to counsel, all the while pushing wealth confiscation and waging endless and unnecessary wars all over the globe. Anyone can talk about defending freedom, but I've actually put everything on the line to resist these despots and these stuff. And I stand before you tonight as your best hope of defeating the weaponized Biden and the very evil regime that his people, because it's probably not him, because
Again,
he
we're
doesn't
just
know
hearing-
where the hell he is, but that his people are pursuing. You can make the difference. The Libertarian Party can make a big difference. The Libertarian Party can make a big difference. Together, we can make America freer than ever before for citizens of all backgrounds and all walks of life. We can unleash new hope, optimism, and energy. We can release limited government so that the people can have an unlimited future. United, we will be unstoppable. If we unite, we are unstoppable. I will be a true friend.
Yeah, they still
to
boo about it. And
libertarians in
this
the
is the
White House.
problem with the Libertarian Party right here. Right here, you can hear it in the crowd. They're not strategic. They
And
have
are you
no
proud
idea
to
what's
be the
really
only
what's going on.
president in
I just want to be
70
left alone
years
to
who
get high as
started
fuck, you know?
No new wars. I took on the military-industrial complex. I broke the stranglehold on neocons and warmongers on the Republican Party. And instead of war, I made peace in the Middle East, something nobody thought was possible, and dealt with Kim Jong-un of North Korea, where a nuclear war was guaranteed to start in a very short period of time if Hillary Clinton became president. You know, that would have been a nuclear war, 100%. And you would have never had the October 7th attack in Israel, would have never happened. And the attack in Ukraine by Russia would never, ever have happened. Wouldn't have happened. Hundreds of thousands and even millions of people would be living today.
Right?
I unbound the United States from
Well, no, you just gotta
globalist
reach 'em,
agreements
man. You
that
know, it's just a
surrendered
state of
our
mind we're in.
sovereignty. I withdrew from the Paris Accord. I withdrew from the anti-gun UN arms treaty. And I withdrew from the corrupt and very expensive World Health Organization. Not a good thing. I passed the most significant, and this is so important, but I passed the most significant criminal justice reform in history. And perhaps my proudest accomplishment is to have exposed the depth of corruption in the Washington swamp. Thanks to me, the
That's what he
entire
does
world
best.
knows that the deep state is real, and the lamestream media is fake. It's fake.
He did that.
A great libertarian who may very well be in the room right now, I believe, but he's a great libertarian, DeRoy Murdoch, who I've become friends with through his writings in the American Spectator and numerous other places, wrote an article yesterday in which he mentions just some of the things that make me a libertarian without even trying to be one. That's nice. DeRoy wrote, Donald J. Trump will address the Libertarian Party at its national convention on Saturday. The Libertarian Party should nominate Trump for president of the United States. Whoa. That's nice. That's
So
nice.
hard-headed. We're so hard-headed. Good.
Only if you want to win.
Yeah,
Only
if you want to
if
win.
you want to win. Maybe you don't want to win. Maybe you don't want to win. Thank you, DeRoy. Thank you. No, only do that if you want to win. If you want to lose, don't do that. Keep getting you 3% every 4 years. The reason for doing so, policy and politics
and you
are
know
as
damn well
solid
together for
as
the
the Hope
Alcohol Revolution.
Diamond. DeRoy says this event is very unprecedented, he said. As the Cato Institute president, Peter Gotler, observed in Thursday's Washington Post, it will be the first time think of this, first time in U.S. history that a presidential candidate of a rival party will address the convention of a party that is presumably gathering to nominate its own candidate. Now I think you should nominate me or at least vote for me, and we should win together.
Again, so hard-headed. This is why you fail. This is why this party fails.
You heard those words.
They're not strategic.
Nominate me or vote.
They have
Vote
no
for
clue.
me. Because
It
the
just-
libertarians want to vote for me, and most
It's almost
of
an
them
obsession.
will. And it's very important because we have
I'm
to
glad
get
we
rid
watched
of the
this.
worst president in history. And together we
Well,
will.
we will
And without
shoot
it,
them.
there's a risk that we could have 4 more years. We won't have a country left. So what is the purpose of the Libertarian Party getting 3%? What is the reason to take a chance of having this horrible president destroy our country, which he will do in far less than 4 years? It's not going to take 4 years. That is why I'm committing to you tonight that I will put a libertarian in my cabinet and also libertarians in senior posts. Pretty good.
Are they still complaining?
That's pretty big. Or you
Come on,
can
guys.
keep going the way you have for the last long decades and get you 3%, then meet again, get another 3%. No, you want to make yourself winners. It's time to be winners. You have a lot of common sense. It's time to be a winner.
There you go. Hey,
So I'm asking
hard
for
truth,
the
guys.
Well, think of it. I'm asking for the Libertarian Party's endorsement, or at least lots of your votes, lots and lots of Libertarian votes, based on my 4-year, very outstanding presidential
They have
record.
no sense
Much
of
of
understanding
my
about how
record
shit
is
works.
libertarian.
But they think they got it all figured out. No, we're going to keep getting 3%.
As an example, DeRoy, thank you. Hey, where is DeRoy? Is he here? DeRoy, where are you? He's great. I like D-Roy. I've liked him for a long time, and he is a libertarian. Thank you, D-Roy. Thank you. D-Roy wrote, the $1.5 trillion Tax Cuts and Jobs Act was America's largest infusion of tax release. That's it, largest tax relief ever. It sliced individual tax rates for all taxpayers and slashed corporate tax rates from a punishing 35% to a globally competitive, and much more than that, only 21%, way down. It was the largest tax cut in the history of our country. Now you can like it or you don't have to like it.
They don't like taxes at all, but
of business equipment
you got to
and other
appreciate
reductions
reduce it.
fueled the best economy that our country has ever had. For 4 years, we had the best economy our country has ever had. Black and Hispanic unemployment reached the best levels in history. Female joblessness slid to levels unseen before. Black poverty collapsed to record lows.
Electric.
And all of the
What's
things.
up? How you doing, man? Great to see you.
Inequality shrank, and it shrank at levels we've never witnessed. Between 2016 and 2019, real median household income grew.
I'm not sure why it's listed as DC.
16.
Well, Clarendon is kind of close.
The highest ever to almost
Still,
$10,000
get it right.
per family. Think of that.
Exactly.
Number 2, Trump cut red tape as never before. He promised to kill 2 old regulations for every new one. And in fact, he ended up actually scrapping 8 for 1. And he was going to 12 to 1 and doing numbers that were unbelievable. Thank you, D-Roy. D-Roy is, and I'm actually just quoting from the article that came out today from D-Roy Murdoch. He said, number 3, Trump fully restrained inflation. We had practically none. Prices were rising just 1.4% as he left office. And this was a fraction of the 9% inflation that lying Joe Biden repeatedly claims Trump handed him. No, he said we handed him. No, it went up to 9% after he took over the White House and created all the inflationary acts.
I hear you. You probably didn't miss
He did a horrible job. The 30-year mortgage rate, as Trump departed, was 2.77% versus the almost 9% today. And you, by the way, even if you pay 9%, you can't get any money. There's no money available. Trump's drill, baby, drill approach fostered energy independence, which we've never had before. Low fuel and electricity prices helped moderate inflation and propel economic growth. But all of these things have now skyrocketed. They have skyrocketed to levels never seen. Inflation has hit us harder than it's probably ever hit us before, and people are suffering because of it. Trump promoted parental rights and school choice. Trump's education department repealed the so-called guidance letter that turned on-campus sexual harassment accusations into de facto criminal convictions. You know all about that. Who else would do that for you? Trump restored due process to the he said, she said minefield for your children. I know many, many people, what they've gone through with that is they've gone through hell. In a powerful blow, Trump required universities to respect the First Amendment lest they lose their federal funds. I said, you don't respect the First Amendment, we're taking away all of your federal funding. Trump torpedoed Obamacare's individual mandate and got rid of many of its taxes. Medical price transparency empowered consumers to shop for health care services and compare costs. And this is one of the biggest things that's happened. And it's reducing the price of drugs and everything related to drugs and medical care at levels not seen before. This will soon be happening. The competition is now slowing what were ballooning healthcare expenses. Trump signed right to try. Terminally ill patients now can receive experimental and possibly life-saving
catching them up, I
treatments.
guess.
And when at death's door,
I don't know how many people there don't know these
suffering
things.
Americans have to lose. What do they have to lose, you ask? They are so thousands and thousands of people are now living because of right to try. Trump nominated some 300 constitutionalist federal judges, a record, including a seldom seen 3 Supreme Court justices in one presidential term. Very rarely seen before, if ever. Trump canceled and defunded federal diversity, equity, and inclusion programs and other state-funded racism schemes. The VA Mission Act, which Trump signed, lets military veterans receive federally funded medical care in the private sector if delays prevent their treatment in VA hospitals. In other words, if they're delayed, they can go out and get a private doctor. We pay the bill. They go out, they get a private doctor, they get better. People were waiting online for 2 months, 3 months, 5 months, 6 months, and not anymore. Trump signed a measure that streamlined dismissals of federal bureaucrats who abuse America's beloved veterans. He got NATO countries to pay hundreds of billions of dollars more for their protection. The only president who did so, and substantially reducing what we were forced to pay. We got them to pay, other nations to pay hundreds of billions of dollars that they weren't paying. No other president was able to do that, reducing very substantially what we paid. During the Trump administration, we had peace through strength. No wars other than the complete and total destruction of ISIS. And DeRoy ended by saying that most libertarians would say this is a non-exhaustive roster of accomplishments like no other, that it truly shines. So again, DeRoy, thank you very much. DeRoy Murdoch, I appreciate it. We could not have written that better. And as you say, there were many other things we did that were quite libertarian also. So I want to thank you very much. That was a great article. Thank you. DeRoy Murdoch, thank you. When I returned to the White House,
Prince Williams County. Got you.
On our democracy once and for all. I did far more than any other president in that regard. As an example, I inherited James Comey, a terrible, terrible person from the Obama administration. And very early on, I fired him and lots of others at the FBI, in addition to thousands and thousands of corrupt and unnecessary people throughout our government. And now we are going to finish the job. We will root out the sickness that has taken over our Justice Department, our FBI, and other agencies. Our goal will be nothing less than the rebirth of fair, equal, and impartial justice under the constitutional rule of law. Since the day he took office, Joe Biden has worked to persecute political dissidents, including conservatives, Catholics, and other Christians and opponents of his weaponized state. Right now, the Biden DOJ is trying to put Christians in prison for 11 years for the crime of singing hymns. The moment I win the election, I will appoint a special task force to rapidly review the cases of every political prisoner who has been unjustly persecuted by the Biden administration so that I can sign their pardons or commutations on day one.
Free Ross. Free hat. Free hat.
And I will ensure that libertarians are helping to lead that task force. You'll be on that task force, many of you. As everyone knows, it will be my great honor to pardon the peaceful January 6th protesters, or as I often call them, the hostages. They're hostages. There has never been a group of people treated so harshly or unfairly in our country's history. This abuse will be rectified, and it will be rectified very quickly. And if you vote for me on day one, I will commute the sentence of Ross Ulbricht to a sentence of time served.
There you go. There you go. Free Ross. It's going to happen. No Trump. Now, do you like Now you like him? Now you want to partner up?
He's already served 11 years. We're going to get him home. We're going to get him home. I'm proud that I have put forward a detailed plan to smash the censorship and industrial complex and restore free speech. On day one, I will sign an executive order banning federal agencies from colluding to censor the lawful speech of American citizens.
Hear that, YouTube?
And we will remove the rogue bureaucrats who conspire to take away your First Amendment freedoms. We will do that quickly. I will once again slash a record number of liberty-destroying regulations. I will stop Joe Biden's plan for the largest tax. He is going to give you the largest tax increase in the history of our country. And I will end that. And I will make the Trump tax cuts the biggest in the history of our country. Yeah. We will make them permanent tax cuts. We will also stop the massive Biden inflation tax, a stealth tax by which crooked Joe Biden is printing trillions and trillions of dollars and plundering it for the cronies and political friends that he's got all over Washington.
And the world.
And we will cancel the Green New Deal, which is the Green New Scam. It's a big scam.
Oh, yeah.
We will terminate Crooked Joe's insane electric vehicle mandate.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. It's just Rumble having some issues there.
We're going to bring your energy costs down by 60 and 70% because we will drill, baby, drill. We're going to drill, baby, drill. We will eliminate illegal government discrimination, return to a society based on individual rights and individual merit.
Keep winning them. It's on make some lively debate tonight at the convention. End it. They'll end it.
Thank you. And I will also stop Joe Biden's crusade to crush crypto. We're going to stop it. I will ensure that the future of crypto and the future of Bitcoin will be made in the USA, not driven overseas. I will support the right to self-custody to the nation's 50 million crypto holders. I say this with your vote. I will keep Elizabeth Warren and her goons away from your Bitcoin. And I will never allow the creation of a central bank digital currency.
There you go.
I will also immediately end the humanitarian disaster on our southern border. We will end it quickly. You cannot have capitalism and also have open borders because you will soon be turned into a socialist nation, then a poor nation, and finally you will be a failed nation. By ending the border crisis, which we will do immediately, we will save freedom, prosperity, and capitalism in America. And before I even arrive at the Oval Office shortly after we win the presidency, I will have the horrible war between Russia and Ukraine settled. So we quit spending hundreds of billions of dollars to fight other people's wars, and so that we start immediately saving thousands and thousands of lives. And I am committed to restoring peace and restoring stability and to stopping Joe Biden's march to World War III. You know you're being led right into World War III. You know that. You're going to have World War III, and it'll be a war like no other because of the weaponry, the massive weaponry. It will be a war like no other. We will stop it. And I'm the only one that's going to be able to stop it. I will protect American sovereignty from the creeping hands of global government. And as we speak, Joe Biden's minions are in Geneva, secretly negotiating to surrender more of our liberty to the World Health Organization.
Yep, that's the pandemic
Drafts of
treaty.
the agreement show that they want to subjugate America to foreign nations, attack free speech, empower the World Health Organization to redistribute American resources. They're going to take our money and send it all over the world to other countries that we need for our own citizens in the event of a pandemic. And it can happen again. I am hereby demanding that Joe Biden submit these monstrosities to the Senate as treaties. They have to be submitted as treaties because he cannot be allowed to do that.
Yeah,
Destroy our
sign over.
country. He
He
is.
just signed over our
If
sovereignty.
he does not, I will rip them up and throw them out on day one of the Trump administration. On education, we will cut federal funding for any school pushing Marxist and communist race and gender theories on our
Yes,
children.
yes, yes,
We
yes,
will keep men out of women's sports.
yes.
And I will not give 1 penny to any school that has a vaccine mandate or a mask mandate.
Boom.
We will shut down our out-of-control federal Department of Education and give it back to the states and local
Yes.
governments.
Yes. They love that
I
there.
will
They love
return
that one.
power to the states, local governments, and to the American people. I am a believer in the 10th Amendment. I will always defend religious liberty and the right to keep and bear arms.
Oh, yeah.
And I will secure our elections. So in conclusion, to every freedom lover here today, and there are a lot of them, and all across our land, I say, this is no ordinary election. Freedom itself is at stake. This will be the most important election in the history of our country. So if you want to strike a blow against the corrupt system in Washington, if you want to send a message to all of the people who want to take away your liberty, then right now in this election, we need your help. We need your support. When I'm in the White
what?
House,
Now you don't want to
you
help?
will always find an open door to the Oval
We
Office.
love it all. We're not going to help.
Together, we are taking on some of the most menacing
Come on,
forces
guys.
and vicious opponents our people have ever seen. But no matter how hateful or corrupt the communists and criminals we're fighting are, and they are vicious and they are corrupt, you must never forget, this nation does not belong to them. This nation belongs to you, belongs to you. This is your home, this is your heritage, and our American liberty is your God-given right. 2024 is our final battle. With your help, we will demolish the deep state. We will expel the warmongers from our government. We will drive out the globalists. We will cast out the communists, Marxists, and fascists. We will throw off the sick political class that hates our country. And we will drain the swamp, and we will restore and rescue our country from these tyrants and villains once and for all. Ladies and gentlemen, the great liberation of America begins on November 5th, 2024. It will be the most important day in the history of our country, and the forgotten man and woman will be forgotten no longer. I want to thank you. I want your support. And again, you can either nominate us and put us in the position or give us your votes. I would say nominate or give us your votes, but we want libertarian votes because you stand for what we stand for, and don't waste a vote. And don't allow the worst president in the history of our country to come back and do the final destruction of America. Thank you very much, everybody. God bless you. God bless you.
There you have it. All right, let me kill the copyrighted music there. Switch up my mic here. Pretty good job. You know, he's not used to having the crowd not 100% in his corner. The shadow puppets are the best. Yeah, not bad, Trump, not bad. Let's go with this one. All right, there we go. I mean, hey, you know, that's the nature of the crowd there, man. It's it is it can be fickle, and they're very hard. There's some accelerationists in that crowd too, as well. Even they may be voting for Libertarian with the Libertarian Party or siding with them, but there's some accelerationists in there in that crowd. Definitely a mixed bag. I mean, you got to understand that, you know, the establishment wants to own and control everything. They've got their hooks in that party in different places. Hopefully they're doing something about that more than they've done in the past. But we do need the libertarians. I would expect the libertarians to want to be on the side of the anti-establishment. I don't know if they recognize what the anti-establishment is, or if they think that that's what they are. But maybe just hearing, is that T-Rex in the crowd? Look, it's this guy right here. If he had some glasses on, he'd be T-Rex. Oh, hold on. Yeah, right there. You know, it's like he's saying, like, it's time to kind of put the party thing aside and go with what the candidate stands for, and know a man by his enemies. The establishment hates Trump. You know why? Because he's going to undo all the things they want done, which is all the things that are bad for America. And so they come at him full force with the dirtiest politics and dirtiest tactics in the world. And we all see it clearly. Let me go ahead and pull this down here. I guess we're done looking at that. Yeah, you see, he was there the whole time. I knew it. He's everywhere, folks. He's everywhere. So let me see if I can find the other thing I've saved here. I hope I put it in this one. Oh, wait, there, I see it right there. All right, this is just 8 minutes, right? This is from the other day. This is Vivek Ramaswamy remarks and debates at Libertarian Party convention. Do I not have the entire thing? Hold on. This is like just a quick press conference. Oh, here it is. Here we go. Yeah, we got to hear from Vivek too. Well, is this the debate? We got a debate and we got live. Huh. You guys want to see the debate or you want to see live? Hold on, not live, but his speech. Oh wait, hold on. That's the wrong one. 23. That was 7 years. He was at the NC GOP convention. That's what that was. Okay. So who's he debating? I'd like to see him. He's not debating anybody. Oh, there's a debate. This ought to be pretty good. This might be pretty good. I probably should have made this a winning 2024 show. Let's see, I've always been a right-wing libertarian myself. Some of these new age libertarians are kind of psycho, almost left. Yes, Corpus. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. You're right. Like it's gotten weird in there. It's gotten really weird in there. And I think that, you know, when you look back at like 2016, right, and what the shit that was coming out of Gary Johnson's mouth kind of echoes that, right? He jumped on and started acting just like the establishment, didn't he? When it came to Trump, right? And he was all the way up. He was all the way up Ron Paul's ass, but he didn't see that. He didn't see that was the same mission, and that's what I think a lot of libertarians in the crowd, maybe they're not, you know, just haven't had the sophistication yet. I don't know, but they seem to not see that either. Like that tends to be the thing you run into. You think, oh, libertarian, right? Because I would say that I'm pretty much right there with you, Corpus, in those terms. But but they don't seem to see that, right? They don't seem to see that there's this battle going on. They seem to think that they're going to get their third party in there, and people are going to naturally gravitate towards the message, right? Well, liberty is popular, as Ron Paul would say, and yeah, people should gravitate towards it. But There's also, where are you at the stage of your political education, right? I'm talking about the real thing, right? Not what they're going to teach you in college, but how it really works. Like, where are you at? Do you recognize that, our country is being uh, fundamentally changed in a generation by generation level? And that it's not just a political war, it's a cultural war. It's a lot of things that are involved in it, and that we are literally fighting for our country every day. And that's part of what, where the name Winning Reality comes from. You know, we need to be winning our reality from these people who are trying to destroy it. Because for a long time we've been losing our reality to this weirdness, to this acceptable authoritarianism, to this destruction of beauty, to this destruction of innocence, to this demoralization. Like, again, we started the evening talking about demoralization. You can see how the process of demoralization can take something really good and corrode it into something really bad extremely fast. If the story of Arcata can teach us anything, it's that, how demoralization works and why it's so dangerous. And that's what's been going on generation by generation. Now we don't have to be uptight, Bible thumping, people to live in a moral society. We don't have to be, we don't have to go back to the fears of a fundamentalist society, right? Which is what drove many of the people away and into the demoralized state. You don't want to do that. It's all stuffy and no fun. Dude, I tell you, the best time you'll ever have in your life is, well, is with your family. It really is. I know not everybody has a great family, but you can make a great family. All these fuzzy substance-induced parties and events and things like that, they wear off, man. And you take those things away from it, and you might find some of those activities aren't nearly as fun. It just seems that way. It just seems that way when your nerves or in your mind are in altered states, right? And that is the lure of demoralized practices and demoralization. It's the lure of it, right? And they did a really good job at leading people into that mindset, that being good and that enjoying real things there's something wrong with that. Enjoying life the way it was laid out, there's something wrong with that. Not the case. And when you dabble in that world and you get caught up by that world, and you get sucked down to the bottom and you hit that rock bottom, that's your chance for that moment of clarity to teach you that lesson. Let's hope it's just a lesson and not an end. Yeah, we've kind of been watching it for a while. Like I said, I'm going to wait before I really, really get into my opinions on it too much. I'm kind of previewing them a little bit tonight, and but I'm going to wait for him to have his say, and he will be back to have his say. I'll listen to what he has to say, and then I'll talk about it. I don't want to, I'm going to look at this from a little bit deeper thing than this. Oh my God, it's horrible. Well, the oh my God, horrible thing has been coming for a while. And believe me, a lot of people tried to set him straight, and he, wasn't having it because he knows everything, right? He knows everything. So hopefully he realizes now he doesn't know everything. And that, sometimes you got to listen to other people. Sometimes you got to hear. You can't just go on the internet and read something for one time, the first thing you find, and think you're an expert. That's what got him in trouble in the first place with this lawsuit he's in. I'll talk about that more on Wednesday. So I'll leave it at that. But yeah, come back Wednesday and I'll deep dive on the rackets thing. I just I want to give him a chance to talk first, and something I don't think anybody's done. I know a lot of the lawyers, LawTube guys, good friends of his, close friends of his, want to get out and just give you the nuts and bolts of the case, because that's what LawTube does, right? They give the rest of the people out there that are they're grifting, they're grifting. I don't want to hear your grifty shit. I don't want to hear it. I'd rather talk about the nuts and bolts. I'd rather say, well, what can we learn from this, and how can we improve without running them through the mud? Or, yes, he deserves some criticism right now. for sure. But we all want to see him recover, and we want the best for him and his family, of course, and for him to get back to realizing that the most important thing in his life are those 5 kids and his wife, and that he had it made. He didn't need to go anywhere. He didn't need to go find anything else out there. He didn't need to take his mind away from reality. He had it all. And I'll leave it at this. I hope that this experience will be an educational one. It's going to be a costly one for sure, but it'll be an educational one, and it'll help get his life back on track from here to the end, right? To enjoy the blessings that he's been given the proper way. Because it would be a shame if he lost it all. And that's the next step, by the way. If it doesn't get this, then the next thing it's going to go is that. Unfortunately, it's just the pattern. So that's how it works. Let's see. I agree. I kind of fell off watching regularly his content. I started going after a new type of audience. Yeah, I hear you. I did too. Like, I enjoyed the old days of LawTube, and I enjoyed the learning about the law and having a little bit of fun, and it seemed like a really cool thing at the time. And then when it started, it started to get into degenerate tube a little bit. It went from that kind of thing to like, okay, there's a bunch of people with their shirts off on a stream, making a spectacle of themselves for what, it wasn't really entertaining to me. But that's me. Some people, evidently a lot of people like it. I mean, look, the dude's obviously loved. He was off the air for 45 minutes. He literally left the stream on for 45 minutes and disappeared the other night, and nobody left. I'm out here trying to do my best to raise the awareness about the future, what's coming at us, educating people on that, maybe educating people further on conspiracies they may have fallen for or want to debate people about, giving them the nuts and bolts, what's real, what isn't, all that shit, man. And like, thank God I have this awesome crowd that I have. But I can't it's hard to reach people, just when you're trying to do the right thing. And but 1,500 to 2,000 people were sitting there waiting for 45 minutes for him to come back. I mean, shit, dude. You got that kind of loyal base, and you got that kind of stream going on, and that kind of security for your channel going on, and you could actually just walk away for 45 minutes and people won't leave. Holy shit. I mean, I popped it in maybe the middle of it. I'm like, what is going on? Like, we were hanging out, and I saw that, and I just saw the chair sitting there. I was like, what is going on? Is this stream over? How long's he been doing this? I had to rewind to figure out how long the chair's been sitting there. And then the chat was like, oh yeah, we're going on like 45 minutes. I'm like, oh my God. I can't imagine if I walked away right now for 45 minutes, anybody would be here when I got back. I can't, there's like, of course, I'm not a train wreck waiting to happen either. So maybe some of it was that, but I know a lot of it was concern. There are people that care about him a lot, and we want him to get well, and most of all, learn his lesson. Getting well is probably a little bit easier than learning your lesson. So I hope that he does both in record time. And of course, this is rehab to redemption arc territory. It depends on what he comes out and says, right? It depends on what he comes out and says. All right, so guys, let me listen to this real quick. Let's see how this sounds. I don't know that I like the way this sounds. I mean, it's a little torquey. I like it's kind of like got this weird stereo kind of in and out thing going. I don't know if I can't subject you guys to this audio. I just heard enough. It's gonna be irritating, unfortunately, because I bet you he rocked it. So let me just go back to what I was gonna do in the first place, which is talking to the crowd. Vivek, man, he's busy. So busy. No, he's always out there doing something. Let's just listen to his remarks after this. So it's done well. You can hear good. 8 minutes. Let's do it. Let's find out what he had to say about his experience at the Libertarian convention. Vivek Ramaswamy, if all goes right, our next VP.
This country and saves who we are. I truly believe that. I truly believe that. And that's why I'm here.
There are signs at this convention.
Hold on.
They're trying
Can you guys hear that? It's really low. Cranked up. And let me just crank it one more time here on this little additional app I have. It boosts the sound there. Crank it up.
Who we are. I truly believe that. I truly believe that. And that's why I'm here.
There are signs at this convention saying they're trying to make sure that Biden and Trump are not elected.
I didn't do it. What is going on here?
For this country. But I think the Libertarian Party is also at a fork in the road this year. I think the question the Libertarian Party has to ask, the question this gathering has to ask of itself is, what is its goal? Is the goal to achieve at maximum 3% of the general vote? What was it last time? 1.2%? At maximum, shooting for a 3% goal and calling that a victory? Or shape policy in this country in a meaningful way to work together with what I hope is to actualize the vision of this libertarian movement. I think that's a worthy goal. I think that's an achievable goal. I think it's the goal we're going to achieve. But that's a real question for this room that I'm going to be addressing soon to ask itself. And that's what I'm going to challenge everybody in that room to answer.
Are you talking about fusion?
I'm talking about the question of how we actually turn into reality the ideals of freedom enshrined in our Constitution. How do we actually revive free speech in this country? How do we actually revive medical freedom in this country? How do we actually revive a country where a Justice Department does not discriminate against its political opponents? Revive a nation where it's actually run by the people who we elect to run the government rather than unelected bureaucrats who are exercising power today. How do we get that country back? A country where we're not forking over foreign aid of our own taxpayer dollars to foreign countries that don't advance our own interests. How do we flatten the tax code? How do we allow anybody to succeed with their own hard work without the government impeding their success at every step of the way? Campaign, there are core issues to the America First movement, and there are core issues to the people who are in this room. And the people, well, the answer is, the question was not a coherent one. What, are you talking about nuclear technology or what?
No.
I think there is a fusion of interests. I think there's a fusion of interests. And I think do I believe everybody in this room should do everything they can to make sure the best possible candidate who can, and then work together with Donald Trump. And if I'm part of it, with me in the next administration to actualize those policies. Yes, I think that's the best approach for the United States of America. After a year of denying his participation in it. So I think that we should actually cut through the sham of the debate that's been arranged, which is that this is Biden's final step to audition for his own nomination. This is the earliest ever presidential debate conducted in U.S. history, in televised U.S. history. And it's the first debate that's happened.
Whoa, why is it so bad? Look, this is actually their camera. Look, see,
something
I'm moving.
A final hoop that they want to vet.
The debate needs a new camera guy.
And I think the race really.
Yeah, he needs a new camera team.
I'll have a few words to say that. I'll have a few words to say about my views on some of RFK's policies. I know that he was here earlier today. Look, I respect his views on medical freedom, but I think he's in no sense a libertarian. I mean, the fact of the matter is somebody who believes or has said he believed that people should be imprisoned for spreading climate disinformation is an affront to the First Amendment. I think for somebody who cares about human flourishing, his opposition to nuclear energy is mystifying. I think for somebody who cares about freedoms in this country, his on issues ranging from the true libertarian would actually stand for. And so I think there's more to being a libertarian than cultivating a vibe.
Hang tight. All right. I didn't realize it was this bad. But man, I'd like to see a clean version of this. I can't watch anymore. I'd like to see a clean version of that because I think that this is very interesting. I mean, dude, and it's very cool at the same time. I mean, they're being smart, they're being strategic, they're reaching out to other groups, right? They're giving it all, and they're making a good case for it. And I think the Libertarian Party has been kind of isolated for a long time now. The last time we were closely aligned was under Ron Paul, right? So it's been a while, and I never understood the people who ran away from that and back to the Libertarian Party, when we had a clear-cut mission, and that mission was, at least the first steps in it was accomplished through Trump. Like he extended the Ron Paul revolution, and I don't understand. I know at first it was a little bit shocking because, you know, Trump was brutally honest about Ron Paul's chances at some point and lost favor with a lot of people, including me at that time. You know, didn't think much of it. No, we had to be optimistic. We had to believe we were going to win. We didn't want to hear we couldn't win from anybody. But, you know, at that time, I bet you Trump would take this back. I bet you he would take it back right now that he said that, even though it was true, because of, you know, it was a default endorsement for Romney, right? So, you know, what other choice do we have if we didn't have Ron Paul? We had none at that point. So probably wasn't the best thing to say, but at least he was honest about it and didn't hold back. But, you know, when he came in and started calling out the mainstream media for being complete propaganda and establishment narrative, that should have brought everybody right back. That was one of Ron Paul's biggest talking points. Like, that should have brought everybody right back. And like I said, there's a lot of hard-headed kind of out there people that are in the Libertarian Party right now. That's why they're not going to do anything. Unfortunately, it's never going to become a mainstream party unless, and this is what I used to tell people back then too, Ron Paul, unless we actually get a reform in this country where a third party actually has a chance to be significant. Right now, there's no way the establishment's going to let another party come in there and kind of muck up the rigged game they got going on. No way. No way. So, I mean, these people that go there are very idealistic. They tend to be very idealistic, very stubborn, and almost like with blinders on, right, to things. They don't seem to understand that we're under attack in many different ways, though they can point out that our liberties being impacted, but they don't seem to see the rest of the picture. So it's puzzling, and it makes me feel like there's a lot of subversion going on inside that party from the establishment itself. Like there's plants, right? There's people there to destabilize and keep things off track. Perhaps the bottom line is that between the Democrats and the Libertarians more closely aligned with what's going on. In fact, they are, as far as I've always considered them to be part of what's going on. So I really don't get their hesitancy, other than there's people in there keeping people in a box or putting up good arguments against it. Like, well, you're not really a libertarian if you do that, so, that kind of thing. And then there's a lot of young people that are part of that party as well. So a little bit of idealism in there too, not understanding the full brunt of history and what we're actually up against. And, but I'd have to go there and really just start having conversations with people and to get a better grip on it. I'm spitballing it from, 1,000 miles away. But I just know with my experience in the past, Ron Paul revolution, that, that was the libertarians are very, very hard nosed to the letter on what they believe, libertarianism is. And outside of, trying to get in there through Ron Paul, which I think a lot of them believe they were doing, they don't tend to see the strategy, which is puzzling because, believe it or not, it was a Libertarian Party person that actually clued me in. I guess it was like around 2006 about a strategy like that. Like, why not go into the Republican Party? This is when I was really green, really new to politics and into this new, politics, understanding the world. We lived in a rigged game basically, and what are we going to do about that? And then Ron Paul was introduced to me, but it was like, what about going in through the through a party that we can actually get in through and make any changes that way? And that's what it dawned on me. So I don't understand why they've abandoned that strategy. If the well's been poisoned for Trump in that scene, right? That might be what it is. There's some well poisoners. You heard all the people booing, "Hey, let's get together and stop this guy. Let's do it." Boo. Hey, I'm going to put libertarians in my administration. Hey, we're going to pass these libertarian, all these things that we're going to that you're for. Hey, we're going to fight against all these things you're against. They're like, yeah. So, hey, let's vote together. Boo. Like, what is that? What is that? Help me out, guys. Help me out. What is that? I'm trying to describe it. All I can think of is just like, conditioning, lack of vision, like a vision or lack of ability to have gained the vision to see it. To me, I guess I've been doing it for so long. It's just crystal clear to me, but anyways, I'll try to find, if I can get a clean copy of that debate that he's in, I'd really like to watch it. But man, it's so gargled and it just didn't sound good. I don't want to subject you guys to that bad audio, or I would play it. So let me go back over here, and let's stand here, and holy cow, where's it at? It's behind it. Aha. Let's go to playlist. There we go. All right. So speaking of which, we're going to go ahead and enroll this right to more and more. Like I said, like this should have been a Winning 2024 stream with all this stuff I have, but it was tonight. So what am I going to do? It's Winning Saturday night. We got to win on Saturday night, right? Let's go into the good news of the week. What do you say? Let's do it. T-Rex, bring us in.
Spread the word, bringing joy and love to each and every nerve. Positive vibes, that's what we're all about. Gonna lift you up when you're feeling down. Every day we're gonna make it bright. Good news coming your way. You're gonna smile no matter the day. Good news, turning it around in this crazy world. It's the good news of the week. Oh.
All right, here we are. Good news of the week. And by the way, I saw T-Rex earlier. He's still here. Asked me where Shelly is. I think tonight, Messenger, Donald Trump is Jesus Christ. All lies are being revealed. Well, that's a nice thought. It's a nice thought. I definitely think there's some divine, dare I not say the other word, divine interventions happening in some points, man. It doesn't seem like any weapon formed against them is doing very well, does it? But anyways, T-Rex was asking, other people I'm sure are wondering where Shelly is. Well, Shelly is a devout Catholic, right? And I'm guessing, I think tonight was the night she had to go do the sacred ceremony of veiled rood. Veiled rood, if you look it up, it's very sacred. Only the greatest Catholics of all time do this. It's where they go around and they put veils over top of crucifixes and statues. And so she's running around to different places and putting veils over crosses and statues. Yeah, veiled rood. Ask her when you see her how the veiled rood went, and that's veiled ROOD. It's one word. So just ask her how the veiled rood went. She'll be so happy that you asked her. All right. So hey, guess what? The primaries are still going on, and we had a red wave this week that kind of went under the radar. Still some primaries. I mean, I guess we're predicting that. Yeah, she's putting veils over crosses and statues of saints and stuff like that. Yep. Okay. And but yeah, so, I guess we expected that, but even more so than just the Republican primary, there were other formations of the red wave going on. Let me speed this up. How's this guy sound like 1.5?
Republicans experienced a red.
And these awful new closed captions. So we're going to watch some of this. If it gets good, we'll watch the whole thing.
Republicans experienced a red wave up and down the ballot in several states last night. What is up, people of the internet? It is me, Real American, back again with a new video, and today it is time for a post-mortem of last night's elections because Republicans experienced success up and down the ballot last night, and not just in one or two contests. No. In nearly every single contest last night in every state, whether it was Georgia, Idaho, Kentucky, it doesn't matter. Republicans had major wins up and down the ballot, whether it was during a primary, whether it was during a runoff, whether it was a special, whatever it was, Republicans had very good success last night. Now, before we continue with today's video, I hope you enjoy these type of videos. If you do, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit that little bell, follow the social media accounts in the description down below, and of course, join the channel today. Again, folks, all support is greatly appreciated, and yeah. Now, let us get into it because I cannot believe how bad of a night Democrats had. It was just pathetic. And let's start with Kentucky because this was the first sign that, all right, Democrats were going to have a pretty bad night. Just look at the presidential result. Biden barely cracked 70%. It was so bad that uncommitted got 7 delegates, and there's a good chance they get like 2 or 3 more. This is undoubtedly one of Biden's worst states of this entire primary cycle. Barely cracking 70%. And look at some of these counties. He outright lost like 6 counties across the state. Floyd, Robertson, Union, Ballard, etc. He did awful. He didn't even crack 40% in many of these areas. Hell, there were many counties, especially in eastern Kentucky, that he couldn't even crack 50%. And he was barely cracking 40% in some of these other places. It was bad. Now, people are going to say, well, that's the ancestral Democrat. Yes, that's true. But these same people claimed that if Trump couldn't get 99% of the vote on the Republican side, it was an underperformance. But now they're claiming, oh, Biden got 70% of the vote. That's actually a good thing because of ancestral Democrats. That might be the dumbest thing I've ever heard. He did awful in the entirety of Kentucky. I know he did the worst in eastern Kentucky. This is the part of the state that, yeah, you're going to see a big ancestral Democrat vote. But even places like Jefferson, he barely cracked 80% in. He did not do good in Kentucky at all. Hell, Fayette, which is Lexington, he barely cracked 80%.
Yeah, but he's already incumbent. So I see that's exciting, and I hope it means something. And I'm not sure why it's purple instead of blue. But I'm not overly impressed by this. I mean, I think it's great, but I'm just not overly impressed by it because, I mean, it's incumbent. I mean, look at this. Nikki Haley got 16,000 votes. Probably mostly Democrat. I mean, there can't be people out there that are Republicans or these sort of neocons or whatever that still believe she's running. Didn't she endorse Trump recently? I think she did. Not that it means much, but you know, that obviously didn't stop anybody from voting for her on, you know, a night that there's no way she was going to win.
It wasn't good. Even the most friendly parts of the state to Biden, he wasn't getting good numbers in at all. Compare that with Trump, who got 85% of the vote, and his weakest counties was Fayette. He did not crack 70%, but that's his worst county. Nowhere, and I mean nowhere near as bad as what Biden did in most of the state. He was lucky to crack 70% in most of these areas. Hell, lucky to crack 50%. Now, as for other races that occurred last night, there really wasn't much of significance. Yeah, you had Thomas Massey fend off a primary challenge, which was not a surprise. Though it is funny seeing AIPAC spend like $3 million for them to lose by 60. As for the state legislator, nothing really happened. But I do got to say there was a pretty big W for District 66. For those that don't know, TJ Roberts is the conservative choice here. He won by
wasn't that a movie?
Points. He's a great guy. Go follow him. I don't usually talk about state legislator races because usually they're insignificant, but in this circumstance, he's such a great guy. I recommend people check him out. He's going to be a great state legislator for District 66. And that's about it for Kentucky, but
get your kicks in District 66.
Results of the Democratic presidential primary were awful. I just cannot believe that he barely cracked 70%. But you think this was bad enough for Democrats. And I thought, okay, surely it cannot get any worse than this. Nope. Look what happened in Georgia. Look at this. The state Supreme Court election. The conservative won by 10 points. Look at the results in Clayton County. Pinson won by 2. You know, this is one of the most Democratic counties in Georgia. Yeah, he just won it by 2 points. Fulton County, lost by only 8. Granted, it is a Supreme Court election, but conservatives won by a landslide. They won by 10 points. And the reason that I'm making a big deal about this
We're making
is
a comeback
the same
here.
people
George is making a
in the
comeback.
Wisconsin Supreme Court election last year,
Yeehaw.
they were saying this is proof
Bring
that
out the
Wisconsin's a
Duke
safe
boys.
Democrat. Yeah, those same people are saying this doesn't count. The conservative winning in Georgia by 10 points, it doesn't count because of whatever reason they're using. Listen, Supreme Court elections usually don't decide, or they don't correlate that much to federal races. They really don't, because it's more local, it's nonpartisan, and he was the incumbent, Andrew Pinson. But these people are complete hypocrites. They were saying a year ago, to say what's winning is proof Wisconsin is a safe Democrat. Now they're saying, oh, Supreme Court races don't matter. These special election losers are suddenly saying, oh no, this is low turnout, which, yeah, I agree with. But where the hell were you a year ago? Or hell, any other special election for the past 3 years? Where?
So hard to say.
Now it matters if turnout's low? Give me a break. You're just coping at the fact the conservative won by 10 points. That's an embarrassment for Democrats. It was a blowout. You don't do this bad in Fulton, DeKalb, Gwinnett, Cobb, etc. It was bad. Now, as for other races that occurred down the ballot, there was one notable Republican primary, District 3. And I gotta say, this might have been the only significant L of last night. Brian Jack more than likely is gonna win. And for those that don't know, Brian Jack is the Trump-endorsed candidate. The problem is, he's a complete rhino. This was a terrible endorsement by Trump. And well, he's gonna more than likely win, because look at that, he's at 47%. He's going to a runoff, and there's no way he loses. If he loses this race with the Trump endorsement and already being at 47%, that would be hilarious. But let's be real. He's going to win this race. We're getting a major downgrade in this district. It sucks. Brian Jack is awful. Look him up. Big rhino. I don't get why Republicans, or I should say Trump endorsed them, support this guy, but it's still one of Trump's biggest problems. He's supporting garbage Republicans like Brian Jack. But it is the only significant L of the night. There really wasn't anything else bad that occurred for Republicans, but this was a seat that Republicans could have gotten someone way better in. But instead, we're getting stuck with a rhino like Brian Jack. But either way, Georgia was a good night for Republicans. They had decent results of the Supreme Court race. It's funny to see Democrats now coping about, oh, that's a low turnout race. Okay, yeah, where were you a year ago? But that wasn't the only race that occurred last night. You had results in Idaho, and Republicans almost took out Mike Simpson. And if Trump endorsed Scott Cleveland, we could have seen Mike Simpson go down. And for those that don't know, Mike Simpson is one of the worst Republicans in the House. Easily bottom 10, maybe even bottom 5. He is garbage, especially for Idaho's second. You would think you would get a true conservative in this district, like an actual conservative. Nope. Mike Simpson is garbage, but either way, it's still funny to see him doing that badly, especially with the Trump endorsement, but who knows? Maybe we take him down in 2026. But down the ballot in Idaho for the state legislature, we had arguably some of the biggest wins of the night. We saw a bunch of rhino incumbents go down in flames, and there were a couple that survived, but a lot of them did go down. If they did win, they barely won. They won by like 2 points. A decent chunk of them did. But the ones that went down, they were awful. And there was like 6 or 7 incumbents that were rhinos that lost in the primary.
That's good news.
For whatever reason, I still don't get this. Why in deep Republican states like Idaho, the legislators dominated by rhinos? Why? This is Idaho. This isn't, Oregon or Washington. This is a deep red state. But it appears Republicans there finally woke up and were able to take down a bunch of rhinos. Now, not every single rhino lost, but there were a bunch of them that did go down or came very close to losing. It was a very good night in Idaho. Granted, it could have been better if Mike Simpson lost, but I really don't consider that a loss because it's one of those races where Trump, even if he endorsed Cleveland, it might have been too late, but either way, Mike Simpson might go down in 2026. That's a positive thing. But what really matters is Republicans did get some big wins with actual conservatives down the ballot. Now, you would think, all right, this is surely where the good news would have ended. But nope, there was actually one more major win that occurred out in Oregon. But before we even get to that, I do got to quickly mention the California 20th special. This is McCarthy's seat. Vince Fong did win. Very sad. It's a big L. He is a pretty big rhino.
So bottom line, guys,
but either
is that we had a good night. We had a good night. There's the bottom line. And speaking of Georgia, like kind of coming around, you guys know this problem we've been. Let's see. All right, we'll do this one next. Yeah. Okay. So you know how like we had this problem with squatting, right? That the squatters and it's been an issue because they've literally had kitten time. Hold on. Oh, all right. They they've been able to get away with this forever, but now that like that video went viral of that guy telling people illegal invaders how to squat in homes, states have finally said, okay, well, it's time to do something about this. It would have been nice if they had done something about it before, but now that we got it, several states have started taking the initiative to get this problem taken care of before it becomes out of hand, right? And Georgia, like Florida, is one of the first states to do it. So good job, Georgia. You guys, this is some good news right here, and hopefully it's coming to a state you're in as well, because check this out.
New at 5. Georgia's new tougher penalties against squatters are now the law of the land.
The new law comes after a series of Channel 2 Action News investigations exposed the loophole squatters were taking advantage of. Now, consumer investigator Justin Gray is looking into how local police departments are using their new powers to criminally charge squatters.
Karen, we've been reaching out to police
It's actually
departments,
kinda funny,
solicitors
too.
general, and local magistrates about this to see if criminal citations are now being written to squatters. Many of the departments tell us they are still trying to figure out how all this is going to work, but South Fulton has already created a special task force just to go after squatters, armed with the authority of this new law.
I know everybody thinks you can go in the house and go out and sit there. That law changed the other day. That law changed the other day.
When police officers knocked on the door of the South Fulton home this month, armed with new powers to cite squatters criminally on the spot, the suspected squatters ran out the back door.
All these fake leases, and I got receipts for this, and I rented this. Nope. That's over with.
So we're basically putting these squatters on notice. The law has changed.
For you.
It was a very different scene earlier this spring when police were called to Paul Callan's DeKalb County home.
They'll break in your house and then use the law to stand there.
Where is it? You have the lease, man? I don't worry about the lease.
Yeah, bro, you got a full lease.
Police body camera video was rolling as officers were handed what they suspected was a fake lease.
So you got somebody with a fake lease?
Yeah, I think the lease is fake, but it's no way I can prove it.
So the officers just left, told Callens and the suspected squatter it's not a criminal matter.
This will take time. Like, we can't put you out there. We're not here for that. And he have to deal with it with local courts and so that. They shouldn't be in there for, a minute. They should be, out immediately.
Are you selling a squatter home right here? After an exclusive Channel 2 Action News hidden camera investigation and a series of viral Channel 2 Action News squatter stories, Georgia lawmakers rewrote the law on squatters, spelling out that this is a crime that must be dealt with in magistrate court in a matter of days, not weeks or months.
Well, this is no longer a civil matter. Once this law was passed, it has now became a criminal offense.
Yeah, it's Justin Gray from Channel 2. Are you squatting in this home? No, I'm not. You're not? This is one of the first houses South Fulton police have visited under the new law just last week.
Looks like you're
They
squatting.
determined the suspected squatter is in the eviction process with the corporate landlord who is looking to recoup $60,000 in unpaid rent. You feel like you all can react quicker now?
Absolutely. I think with the current law that is now in effect, we will be able to react more proactively.
Let's go back to Paul Callan's home. Channel 2 Action News cameras were there the day marshals evicted Takesha Bailey from the house. But look what we found right down the street a few weeks later. Criminal trespass notice. DeKalb Marshals, been evicted by the DeKalb Marshals office. Jane Doe evicted here according to the paperwork, but look at the belongings. See anything familiar? How about the same suitcase? We noticed the luggage tag here, Takesha Bailey. That's the same woman at the other home. According to court records, the alleged squatters here claim to have been scammed. That's the same thing Takesha Bailey says about Paul Callan's house. Bailey told me in an Instagram message that she's no squatter, that she is a scam victim who was evicted from suspected squatter homes twice in a month.
So, yeah.
Wow. You guys need to find some new friends.
It's crazy because they're just going to find the next victim and get out of that one.
But under the new Georgia law, suspected squatters now will immediately be issued a criminal citation.
So y'all pass the word around. All this squatting, the other day.
And so under the new Georgia law,
Game
suspected
over,
squatters are supposed to
squatters.
immediately be issued a criminal citation and have 3 days to present a lease. If that lease is fraudulent, this goes from a misdemeanor case to a felony. Another thing with the new law is that it doesn't have to just be the homeowner who reports this. Now anyone, a neighbor, an HOA can call police and say, we want you to investigate this squatter home.
It looks like what you found, though, was some of the people renting the homes didn't know they were squatting. They were giving their money to a company that was being bad with them.
We see that in some
Be
cases. We
careful
also
with
see people saying that, and that is what gets worked out in court. That is what these magistrate courts are going to decide.
Wow, a lot going on.
I
Justin,
wouldn't
thanks.
doubt it.
Well, Donald Trump put out a campaign ad which referenced a unified.
Okay, so this next one is debunking this. Did you guys hear about this whole Hitler fake outrage thing? I didn't hear much about it either, but I thought we'd check it out together.
In this country if he wins the election. You know, like a Nazi empire, no big deal. He quickly walked it back and said, no, that wasn't me. It was a staffer. I don't know. I feel like a presidential candidate saying, I'm not a Nazi. I just employ Nazis. It's still pretty bad. I got to thinking the Third Reich were like go-to supervillains ever since World War II, right? Perfect mixture of evil and competence. I'm not sure that the MAGA Reich is going to have that same gravitas. You know, like in the future, comic book writers are going to have the work cut out for them, making these guys into imposing supervillains. Like the Nazis came goose-stepping into town in perfect formation. The MAGA Reich rolls in on motorized wheelchairs, throwing oxygen tanks behind them.
Or
Like
aviation
Panzer IV
device.
is always going to be more imposing
I
than
do
a
not
jacked
know
up
how to
pickup.
fly
I don't care
plane.
how big its ball sack is. Okay, like the Nazis famously wore Hugo Boss, imposing, evil, sharp. Who's going to outfit the MAGA?
And love to try to stoke fake outrage against Trump with some type of made up, out of context claim that tries to link Trump to, I don't know, some terrible person in history, like, for example, Hitler, right? They love trying to compare Trump with Hitler, okay? I mean, they tried to do so when Trump made the comments about illegal immigrants poisoning the blood of the country. More specifically, he was talking about criminals and those who have been released from mental institutions that are being sent to the United States from countries like Venezuela, some of these Latin American countries that aren't doing very well. And again, they're pawning off their criminals to the United States because in Biden's country, at his border, all you got to do is just go to the border and say, I'm hungry, I'm seeking asylum, I'm escaping political persecution, and he'll let you right on in, right? We'll give you a free phone and a bus ride to any liberal city of your choice, right? That is what the Biden administration is doing, okay? And Trump says, hey, this is not a good thing for the country. The mainstream liberal media says Trump is a bigot, okay? He's been xenophobic and he's encouraging hate against immigrants, okay? And they don't make the distinction that Trump was talking about illegal immigrants, and they do that on purpose as a way to try to make it seem like Trump is talking about people that he's not talking about. They did the same thing when it comes to Trump talking about how if Joe Biden is reelected, there will be an economic bloodbath, specifically in the automotive industry. But again, the mainstream liberal media took it out of context and tried to say that Trump was calling for violence, saying that there would be a bloodbath, as in people will be killed if Joe Biden is reelected as president. In context,
Sorry, you guys remember when we covered that? The whole bloodbath thing? It was so stupid.
Anybody, any normal individual listening to what Trump said knows that that's not what he was talking about. That's not what he was saying. But again, the mainstream liberal media takes everything that Trump says out of context and tries to make it seem like the worst thing possible. Okay. But again, their favorite comparison is Hitler. Okay. And they have more Hitler comparisons and accusations, fake accusations against Trump because of a campaign ad that was not made by Trump, that Trump had retruth on his platform that happened to contain the word Reich in the ad. Okay, and I'm gonna let you guys see the ad here in a few minutes. But first, I want to play the mainstream liberal media reaction to it, because once I actually play the ad in the debunking of what the mainstream liberal media is saying, it'll really put into context how silly and desperate the mainstream liberal media is to try to compare Trump to Hitler. Take a look.
Former president is under fire for a video he posted on social media that used language from Nazi Germany.
This is the very beginning, like go back to the very beginning of Unveiling Reality when I talked about archetypes and how smears work, right? This is prime example of them still doing this. Is reinforcing what they're already doing for this next election. But yeah, you see breaking overnight, they got the Nazi Germany term. There's this picture, right? So they're making sure that you associate these words right here with that face right there. That's why they work really hard, and you get these really stupid stories. They know they're full of shit. They know that they're reaching on it, but it still has the same psychological impact to those they're targeting. It's still going to be a little bit more reinforcement, a little bit more of a word association to the face, right? That's what it's all about. So what you're seeing here is flat out subversion dressed up like a news story.
This in a series of anti-Semitic and authoritarian statements from Trump and his campaign. Rachel Scott has the story. Good morning, Rachel.
Hey, George, good morning to you. It is normal, of course, for presidential candidates to share videos with their vision for the country. It is not normal for those videos to have references to Nazi Germany and
Yes. There is the poor subjugated individual, underprivileged, and all the things they want you to think about, someone who's just another human being. But reporting that this rich white guy is this, right? And that they frame everything, like you can break it down, right? It's like they frame everything just perfectly. You realize how psychological these things are. Of course, when the story is shit, I mean, it's just shit to begin with. It's not even true. But the whole acting that's going on here, it's a fake news story acted out by people who are reading off a script and doing it, told to do it a certain way. Have a good night, Ellie. Thanks for being here. I'll tell Shelly you said hey when I see her. She gets back from the veiled rude.
Adolf Hitler. The Trump campaign tells us this morning that this was a video that was shared by a staffer while the former president was in court, saying that staffer missed the reference. But as of this morning, that video has not been taken down.
It has to be taken down because we say it's bad.
This statement that the president, the ex-president made, as I said, is part of a pattern. He was in favor of keeping up the Confederate monuments. He talked about,
man, take care.
back
Great
in the day
seeing you.
when somebody said something to him
See you
about
again
David Duke, but
soon.
he didn't really know, but he
Have a
did
great
that. He talked about in Charlottesville there being, both sides to that issue. This is a tip of the hat to white supremacy and white nationalism, which is unfortunately a very important part of the ex-president's base, which goes to show you what in the world he's going to do if he gets elected again. He's already told you he's going to be a dictator for the day. He wants to make sure that as the president, he could order SEAL Team 6 to go shoot political opponents. These are things that the American people need to weigh with great seriousness. Donald Trump can't hide behind it. Nobody messes with his social media.
It doesn't impact millions of Americans the way somebody calling for a third Reich or saying immigrants.
See, all their attack dogs are on it. It makes you realize what these people's real job is. I mean, I know for a lot of people, they just think it's some kind of entertainment topic show, some kind of news broadcast. They don't see it. That's the first fail, right? Everything is what it's supposed to be. You don't see you don't see the construction of what it is, right? And yeah, that's what it is, but it's constructed in such a way that it has the persona of what you expect, and then what the effects are on it, right? You become subjugated to it. So, whatever the effects are, that's where the rest of it, the gaming of it comes into play, right?
Poison the blood of America, and this rhetoric he's using does. So we always have to be ready to call it out. And I just took a little bit of issue. So the throwing the staffer under the bus, and then they tried to claim it was stock footage of a newspaper. So I watched the ad a couple of times. They specifically selected lines about Trump. Trump wins by a landslide. Make America great again. Largest deportation program in history. And then they chose this. So they want me to believe they chose all of those lines specifically, but that one just somehow snuck in there. It just doesn't even make sense. It's not like he's saying the quiet part out loud. He's shouting it.
Yeah, I'm sure it doesn't make sense when you are a Democrat Party propagandist like Alyssa Perry Griffin posing as a conservative, okay? Because every chance she gets, she rolls with all of the propaganda,
right? Wolf in sheep's clothing,
all of the lies and exaggerations from the media, okay? But hey, she's not a journalist, so I can't hold her to that high of a standard. However, the rest of the mainstream liberal media, yeah, I mean, these are so-called journalists who did not do any journalism when it comes to the origins of this ad and why that language was there, okay? But Newsmax did do some journalism, and they are going to basically debunk all of the liberal outrage over this word Reich being in this ad that Trump had retweeted, but again, was not made by the Trump campaign, and it will make perfect sense once you actually listen to the explanation. Again, this is just another example of how desperate the mainstream liberal media is to try to make it seem like Trump is the worst person in history.
Over to Rob Schmidt tonight. It's difficult to convey just how fake the American establishment media really is and how exasperating it is to have to refute organizations full of people who disingenuously call themselves journalists and debunk their nonstop BS.
Tell me about it. I feel like this is what I do every single day, right? This is my job at this point, okay? To debunk the mainstream liberal media because the BS is non-stop. It really is, okay?
Really is a full-time job. And today, these outlets, trusted by millions for information in this country, all erupted in a united cacophony of performative fear of fascist Donald Trump. We've seen this show before. Here's how it sounded today.
Former president is under fire for a video he posted on social media that used language from Nazi Germany. The latest in a series of anti-Semitic and authoritarian statements from Trump and his campaign.
That phrase appearing 3 times, including under the headline, "What's next for America?"
A unified Reich, which is a word, of course, associated with Hitler's Third Reich during Nazi Germany.
He will create a unified Reich, echoing the Germans from World War II, if you're catching my drift.
Really stupid.
How old is that?
When it comes, though, from this many sources, of course, including most print and online outlets as well. We saw it from CBS, from NBC. It came from everywhere, from all sides at the same time. When it's that powerful, the message quickly permeates through the American bloodstream. Everybody heard this story today, and of course, that was the point.
But yeah, I mean, it is the point because, again, the liberal media.
Yep, that's how subversion works, right? All the way across the board. There's the picture, there's the word. There's the picture, there's the word. All references. Lock it in, brand it in, the archetype in your mind. Subjectable people. That's what they do. That's having a shame in it. These people, these guys are acting like they're God, we had constant, it's a full-time job. Well, yeah, it's a full-time job for them too. I mean, literally it's what they're supposed to do. one layer deeper, right? And you see what it is. It's psychological warfare. It's plain and simple. It's right there in your face. And that's how they were able to turn Donald Trump into one of these in everybody's minds so quickly. Like, how did so many people that liked him suddenly hate him, suddenly think he's all these awful things? A few sound bites, a few comparisons, run it through the cycle, run it through all their trusted sources, shove it in their faces over and over again for months and months and months, leading up to an election or then there you have it. You can do it to anybody anytime. It's been done over and over and over again. That's just how it works, right? There she is. Blessings on this sacred night. Shelley's back from her veiled rood. I hope it was a blessing and you got a lot done. Everybody here has been eagerly excited for you to come back from that and to hear all about it. So I explained what it was.
Has basically become an arm of the government. I mean, I call them the liberal media, but I actually really should be calling them the state media because that's what they are. They're an arm of the state. They're an arm of the Democrat Party. Because again, this story should not be a story, but it is a story because again, they're pushing propaganda on behalf of Democrats. I just did a story about Samuel Alito, the conservative Supreme Court justice, who flew an upside down American flag outside of his house like 2 weeks after January 6th. But the mainstream liberal media came out here talking about, well, he flew a Stop the Steal flag outside of his house in support of January 6th. Now, again, it takes a huge stretch in order to try to connect that flag being flown upside down, which, again, traditionally is a symbol of distress. It takes a huge leap in order to say definitively that he flew that flag in support of January 6th. But, again, this is how desperate they are, right? These are the type of connections that they're making. Lo and behold, just a few days later, they've now come out and said, Samuel Alito sold Bud Light stock.
But then the news broke about some stock trades Alito made last summer. That August, there was that hokey performative right-wing effort to boycott Bud Light because the company had provided a single trans influencer with 1 can of beer.
Look at how he minimizes that. That is not at all what it was. But go ahead.
A little hard to remember just what a crazy cause celeb the Bud Light boycott became in the
This guy, I think he puts a wig on when he gets home.
fever swamps. Now, while that boycott was raging last August, according to a search of financial records by legal reporter Chris Geidner, Justice Alito sold a chunk of stock in Bud Light's parent company, Anheuser-Busch, and he bought shares of Coors on the same day. Kid Rock was out shooting up Bud Light cases, and Sam Alito was selling his Anheuser-Busch stock. Now, you could say, I don't know, maybe just a coincidence, if it weren't for everything else we know about Sam Alito.
Yeah. So again, this is peak desperation in order to try to undermine the integrity of the Supreme Court because they're more conservative justices on the court than liberal justices, right? So again, the liberal media is doing everything they can, acting on behalf of the Democrat Party to try to undermine the Supreme Court as an institution. But let me know when the liberal media has a problem with Nancy Pelosi and her insider trading, right? When they can actually talk about that and cover that story, which is something she's been doing for years, then I might listen to them when it comes to Samuel Alito selling some Bud Light stock, being smart, understanding that that brand is not going to be doing good in the future, just making a smart trade. If you want to get upset about our officials, government officials, trading stock. Again, you got to get upset at Nancy Pelosi first. But until then, I just, don't really want to hear it. So yeah, again, this is what I'm talking about in regards to the fake outrage from the media.
The word unified Reich seen in the background of a pro-Trump ad. It was a dog whistle to the Nazis. It's Charlottesville all over again. Most, though, if you noticed, were never actually shown the actual ad. You probably haven't even seen it yet because seeing it would lead any sensible-minded person to just roll their eyes, realizing they were duped again by the outrage machine. And with that, we're going to play this ad, which was not produced by Trump's campaign, by the way, and was simply reposted by the president while he was in court on Monday. Take a look.
What happens after Donald Trump wins? What's next for America? The economy booms. American energy is unleashed and an end to crushing taxes. The border is closed and the largest deportation in history is underway. No more wars as we focus on home. Law and order is restored. The American dream is back and the best is yet to come. Make America great again.
Did you even see it? So you see what we have right here, right? Some Trump supporter did some fancy editing to create a pro-Trump ad in a vintage journalistic style. It's actually a really good ad, which has absolutely nothing to do with a German Reich of any kind. And we investigated this. We actually found the editor's template, which was used for this. And we can pull it up maybe full screen. You can buy this online. It's called Newspaper Vintage History Headlines Promo. If you wanted to make a vintage ad This is exactly how you would do it. You just go online and buy this from whatever company this is, and they probably use it for a long time. And it basically uses a collection of old news headlines and subheadlines and articles from like the early 1900s, one of which was German industrial strength significantly increased after 1871, driven by the creation of a unified Reich. That's 50 years before anybody was talking about the Nazis and the atrocities that would come before and during World War II. It has nothing to do with anything. These are just old headlines. There were other headlines as well. Expansion of violence in Bosnia was one of them that's used over and over again because this is just a wallpaper template on the internet. Confusion among Central Powers, the First World War, and many other completely innocuous news topics from 100 years ago. This is wallpaper background for editors who want to make vintage art. That's what it is. And whoever did make this thing, and it wasn't the Trump campaign, that's what they used. Anybody that's actually in the media that knows anything about how all this works, and there are a lot of idiots in the media, but the ones that actually understand how it all works know how fake the outrage that we saw today is. It's all performative. This is all just to help Joe Biden. It's another way to slander Trump, and that's why they're not playing the ad for you. This is on the CBS Evening News and everywhere else.
Also, what? Division.
They won't show you the ad, but they will talk about it all day, and they'll talk about it for the rest of the week.
Yeah. So as you can see there, what do we have? More fake outrage from the liberal media. Okay, so you have this template that some random person who wanted to make a pro-Trump ad used to make an ad that honestly was pretty good. He used a template that just happens to have language on it that covers random news stories from years ago, right? Over 100 years ago. He changes some parts of it, right, in order to make the ad. When you first view the ad, nobody can really see it. You got to really look hard in order to find it. You got to watch it multiple times in order to see it. The Trump campaign didn't make it. Trump thought it was a pretty good ad, which I thought was a pretty good ad too. And he retweeted it, right? Just like any politician would retweet something that they feel is worth sharing with their audience that is good for their campaign. But yet the mainstream liberal media didn't bother to do any journalism. Well, maybe they did. I think at this point they knew, they just didn't give a damn. They just didn't care. It was like, you know, we're going to take this word Reich, right? And because we think the American people are dumb, we're going to say, hey, the word Reich was in this campaign ad that wasn't made by Trump. That means Trump is channeling Hitler. Okay. You remember poison the blood comment, Hitler, right? Trump reads Mein Kampf, he's Hitler. Bloodbath, Hitler, right? This is what they do. This is how stupid they think you are, man. It's insulting. You should be insulted if you are a viewer of MSNBC, CNN, The View, all these liberal media outlets that ran with this bullshit. If you are a viewer, you should be insulted. Seriously. Because that's what they're doing. They're insulting your intelligence by running with these types of news stories, these fake news stories, where they take something completely out of context and then they blow it up to something that is not. And this is why people don't trust the liberal media. This is why people don't respect journalism anymore, because it's not journalism. It's opinion, commentary, and propaganda. And here's the thing. It wouldn't be so bad if they just admitted that this is what we're doing. We're propagandists. We're opinion commentators. If they just came out and said that, then, hey, I wouldn't have a problem with it. But they hide under the veil of, well, this is journalism, to justify pushing propaganda, to justify misleading the American people, lying to the American people. And they're never held accountable for it. That is my biggest issue with this. They all knew that this was nonsense, but they don't care because they really want to push the narrative. It's all about the narrative. Facts don't matter. Context doesn't matter. It's just, does this fit my narrative? If it fits the narrative, they're going to run with it. And that's what's happening here. So again, this is another embarrassment for the mainstream liberal media. Another reason why they just can't be trusted. Okay. And why people just don't respect the field of journalism anymore. It's not as prestigious as it used to be because it's not journalism. It is propaganda, right? And these media outlets are arms of the state. They're an arm of the Democrat Party. And they make it very clear and obvious that that's what they are with each passing day, especially the closer that we get to the election, the more desperate that they get because they see the writing on the wall and that Trump is gaining momentum. So again, they're just doing stuff like this. They're just pulling anything, right, to try to stop Trump.
Do not care. The ends justify the means
at this point. So, hey, let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.
Right. Thank you, Greg. Oh, man. Yeah, like you were saying, I just hope it wakes people up. I hope people eventually it starts, they go to the well too many times, right? Unfortunately, it doesn't usually work that way, but for some it does. Hopefully the younger people, right? They broadcast what they are told and paid to broadcast. Yes, yes. I am worried they're going to fix it again. I am too. And we should all be worried about it. Like I said, keep an eye out for people trying to steal ballots out of mailboxes. That's how we can do something in our neighborhood, in our space. You know, that's one thing that we can really seriously, people keep an eye out just for that. You know, if you see people wandering around the neighborhood looking at mailboxes, you know, any time of day or night, call the cops on them. You know, seriously, get them out there to investigate what's going on, because it's a federal crime, and if enough people get busted doing it, why they're doing it, and it's made public, people that they're paying, you know, bottom dollar to go steal, basically, for some, you know, for their own enslavement, will lose the courage to do so. So let's hope that, you know, that's something we could do on our end. And of course, make sure that we get out and vote. Oh yeah, here's the next video. Get out and vote. So, so did you guys hear about, this is kind of like a little bit of lighter news here. The Kansas City chief who, they all the media and everybody went after because of their graduation speech, where he talked about traditional family values. Oh, well, I gotta say, you know, props to the Kansas City Chiefs, Andy Reid, especially our former Eagles coach, great coach, and they didn't put up with it, man. Wait till you see this.
Of the national news wants to use.
First of all, I want to say, yeah, listen to this chick. This is the most annoying chick of the week, by the way. She gets the award, and I have a feeling that she has a large collection of failed relationships in her closet. I don't know. I can't imagine if this is now she's acting. She's doing a damn good job, and if this is a joke, then she did a damn good job. But for some reason, I don't think it is. And yeah, I'll just let it speak for itself.
I put on a blazer and my finest jewelry in case any of the national news wants to use this and air it without my consent. My video addressing my favorite former coworker, Harrison Butker, has popped off. And I'm about it, because now I am a voice for the people that he attacked. And since the mainstream media is going to use whatever content they want, I thought I might as well dress up and give them a formal speech. It has never been about whether or not a woman should stay home with her family. If that is the best decision for her, do you. If you want to have a career, do you. If you want to do both, pop off, do you. My issue lies when entitled men in positions of privilege, such as Harrison Butker, uses a graduation speech to put a woman in her place instead of
Can you imagine having to put up with that every day?
Congratulating her on her accomplishments. Are you shocked at some of his public supporters? I was not, because something these people all have in common, privilege. The harsh reality is that majority of Americans cannot support their family on a single income. Those little bundles of joys are expensive. So telling a bunch of women that that's when their life begins, well, I guess it depends if they're privileged or not. Baffles me that people think that social media has warped this speech into something it's not. If you think that, you should go watch the 20-minute long speech, and I promise you, you're going to be sweeping your jaw off the floor by the end.
With so many women just on staff here and in the building, his comments kind of touched on women in the workforce. What do you tell them if they come to you with a concern about clearly speaking ill of, women in general?
Yeah, that hasn't happened. I don't think you're speaking ill to women, but he has his opinions, and we all respect that. I let you guys in this room, and you have a lot of opinions that I don't like.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. How long has it been since Harrison Butker came out here and just simply gave a biblical perspective on the role of women? He didn't say that women can't work. He didn't say that women can't be the CEO. He didn't say that women can't have jobs. He didn't say that women can't be the boss. He didn't say that women can't do jobs that traditionally men have done. He didn't say any of these things. Okay. He didn't say that women should get back in the kitchen barefoot and make some babies. Right. That's not what he said. Okay. At all. But you would think that's what he said, given the backlash from the mainstream liberal media. And it's been about 2 weeks since he said that, since he gave that commencement address at a Catholic institution, from a Catholic perspective. And in a so-called Christian country, this is a topic that is still being talked about. Okay. At the beginning of this video.
Again, here we go again. The great examples back to back, in that, they grab what they can grab to sow division.
You guys saw a former NFL cheerleader come out and to basically blast Harrison Butker for his comments. Okay. She doesn't seem to be the most stable person, but
she was
yet
an
she
NFL
claims to be a woman of Christ.
cheerleader.
Now, if you are a woman of Christ, then you should have absolutely no issues with what Harrison Butker said. In fact, you should be cheering it on, right? The same way that you cheer on these NFL players when they are performing on the field, right? You should be cheering on Harrison Butker when he's giving that speech at a Catholic university if you are a so-called woman of Christ. But like I try to tell you guys all the time, when it comes to these feminist Christians, they've never actually read the Bible, right? Because if they read the Bible, they probably wouldn't be Christian. They wouldn't call themselves Christian. They probably wouldn't like it too much. But again, Christianity has become bastardized in this country to essentially just mean that you can do whatever you want to do. Doesn't matter what it is, okay? Doesn't matter if it's explicitly prohibited in the Bible. You don't have to adhere to how the Bible tells us that we should live and the structure of society. You don't have to do any of that stuff. All you got to do is ask Jesus for forgiveness, and therefore you're good to go, okay? Because Jesus treated women with respect, okay? He treated them better than most men treated women at the time, so therefore they have interpreted that to mean that, hey, I can do whatever I want to do as long as I ask for forgiveness before I die, okay? And again, this is how you get what is happening right now, where you have women who claim to be Christian, but yet they're so upset and butthurt by a Christian message. It really blows my mind. But hey, it's not surprising because, again, in this society, we are moving away from the traditional values that made this country great in the first place. But the good thing is that we do have.
So they're going to push back on that. So Matt Mahomes came out and said pretty much the same thing. And so good on them. And not only that, but some more good news came out of this. And later, let's see. Let me find it. Oh, here we go. There's a new face. And check this out. So an employee that worked for the Kansas City Chiefs doxed Harrison Butker and got fired.
Let's make sure you guys like this video, subscribe to the channel, become a channel member live. So here we go, guys. Look here. City of Kansas City staffer fired over social media posts that disown Harrison Butker. Now, this person should have been fired, but I really would like to know the name of this person. Maybe even the location of where this person actually lives, considering, this person likes to dots out people that he actually disagrees with. Yeah, this person now has been fired. It says here, the City of Kansas City social media employee who wrote a since deleted post on X from the city's official account that took aim at Chiefs kicker Harrison Butker was fired. Kansas City Mayor Quentin Lucas revealed on KCMO Talk Radio that the employee had been, quote, separated from his job, and a statement from a spokesperson reiterated that later in the day. Quote, the employee has been separated from the city workforce for violation of city policy by posting outside the scope of authorized city communications. The city will have no further comment on the post or individual employees related to it, the statement said. The unnamed employee seemingly went rogue following the controversy surrounding Butker's recent commencement speech
activated
at Benedictine College, in which he took aim at Beijing Biden, the COVID-19 response, religion, and working women, among other topics. In the wake of that address, a post from the city's official X account read, quote, just a reminder that Harrison Butker lives in the city of, okay, I'm not even going to say it, man, because I'm not even trying to dot him out. I wasn't expecting that the New York Post would actually have the city listed right there. Okay. The post was deleted,
right. So they just did it
and
too.
the city and Lucas both issued apologies shortly after on social media. Quote, the message was clearly inappropriate for a public account. Lucas wrote on X at the time. The city has correctly apologized.
That's pretty much what it is there, man. So the good news that that the doxer got what was coming to him for sure. Seems like there was one at the front of. Oh yeah, I moved it to the other one. All right. Our next one here. Okay. Yeah, I think that's good news. All right. Cool deal. Hope you've enjoyed the good news of the week. A reduced version tonight since we watched the speech at the Libertarian Convention by Trump. So yeah, there we go. So you've seen it once tonight, but you'll see it again. All right. So some funny videos, funny news kind of segment here, and then we'll get into the actual comedy stuff. This is hilarious. CNN tries to be cool interviewing a rapper, and it does not go well. Check this out. This is hilarious.
Named Cam Moron, to talk about P. Diddy's problems in the wake of the release of that security footage of P. Diddy and his then girlfriend that had been suppressed in the Los Angeles hotel. And it didn't exactly go as CNN had hoped.
I mean, is there something known in the industry about how Diddy treated his artists?
So I'm going to get some cheeks after this horsepower joint.
Now, I don't speak phonics, but from my research, I've gathered that him getting some cheeks is a reference to him doing, you know what, with one of his hoes after the show. And what he just downed there was a stimulant that he sells. Apparently, he has a hard time getting it up. And so he needs some help in that area.
What about the industry in general? I mean, so many people have pointed out that Diddy couldn't get away with this stuff if there weren't a lot of people protecting him. Do you think that's the case?
Duh.
Who the talent agent for this joint? Like, you think I'll be sitting around watching what Diddy do and all this? I didn't know this was a Diddy joint that y'all invited me to. Yo, who booked me for this joint? I don't be sitting around watching Diddy and all that. Yeah,
thanks.
Man, come on, man.
Thanks for joining us. Thank you for your time tonight.
Well, thank you for having me. You enjoy.
Yeah,
maybe they should talk to Fat Joe, because he certainly had some things to say about the industry many years ago.
It's owned. The hip hop community is most likely owned by gay. To be honest with you,
do you think they'll be?
They're owned by gay. I happen to think there's a gay mafia in hip hop.
Oh, what a surprise! Maybe 50 Cent's new documentary that he just sold to Netflix about Puff Daddy, titled "Did He Do It?" will shed some light on the situation.
That's why I don't be going to the puffy parties. Look, if you're into that, I'm fine with it.
Right? You did.
I'm just saying this ain't my mother kind of party.
But probably the biggest mistake CNN ever made in terms of inviting a guest live on the air happened about 17 years ago in the early days of YouTube. And thankfully, somebody captured it and uploaded it back in the day when they invited Andrew Dice Clay, whose real name is Andrew Silverstein, by the way, live on the air.
Let's talk a little bit about where your career has been. Because you, of course, you were a headline guy.
I'm still a headline guy. You know what I mean?
For a while, you popped out. Now you're coming back. For a while, you were actually you were running a gym. Tell us about that.
Running a gym?
Weren't you running a gym at some point?
You're supposed to be a news guy. Where you getting your
our research? You aren't.
This is ridiculous. I come on CNN and the guy don't even know what he's talking about. Go ahead.
You at no point were you running a gym?
No, running a gym. What,
No,
you
you
need
didn't
a
take a
workout or
timeout?
something? Jesus Christ, with these guys. I come on the news for 2 seconds and you want to say, every time I do an interview, a guy wants to open his mouth. Can't
All right,
even
Andrew,
do a little
thank you very much.
routine
We
here.
thought that you could
what,
hold
go
back.
yourself. You know what?
All right.
Yeah.
We'll go back to talking about art. And we'll be back in just a moment. Fill you in on the Art Carney situation.
No, I bleeped that because I run a family-friendly show over here, but that went out live on CNN, completely unedited. Now, I do think Andrew Dice Clay, Mr. Silverstein, is a complete loser, but you do got to admit that was fun. In other news, this bizarre viral video of old Joe caused such widespread speculation online that a lot of people thought it was a deep fake. Some crazy people thought that it's not even Joe. It's somebody in a mask pretending to be him. It's his double or it's his clone. That CBS News did a segment on it in order to try to fact check it, which only made old Joe look even worse.
All right, this one I'm going to ask you about.
You can't be pro-insurrection and pro-cop. You can't be pro-insurrection and pro-democracy. You can't be pro-insurrection and pro-American. Donald Trump lacked the courage to act.
So what did you think of this one?
He didn't blink.
Not at all, right?
So that suggests it's fake.
This one's actually real.
How's that?
And yeah, he didn't blink for the whole 17-second clip. And when this actually surfaced about a year ago, there were conspiracy theories and people thinking that this had to have been a deep fake. The reason that we can tell that this one is not a deep fake, we really need to rely on the source. First of all, coming out a full White House video, giving a speech, and these were remarks that were delivered virtually. We're not only at risk of seeing things that are false and thinking that they're true, but actually seeing things that are true and thinking that they're false.
I can't even believe that they aired this because there's plenty of other examples out there of real videos that people think are fake that they could have used. And so out of all the videos, they picked this one, which couldn't make old Joe look worse. And now the Biden campaign is going to hire a meme manager as the president struggles for support from young voters. Because the left can't meme, the left can't understand memes, and they lost the meme war many years ago, and they're getting utterly embarrassed again. And so they're desperately trying to find some way to combat it. And the liberal media has been a broken record for 8 years now. This clip was from yesterday, but it very well could have been from last year, 2 years ago, 5 years ago, or back in 2016.
And by the way, out there, that hat that you keep wearing, that red hat that says "Make America Great Again," that tells people that you go along with this. So you might as well just put a swastika on the hat.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Because we see it anyway.
The bottom line is
calling a MAGA hat racist is one of the dumbest and most pathetic political tactics the Democrats have ever deployed. But I hope that they keep using it because all it's doing is waking people up. And now Trump leads in 5 key states as young and non-white voters, Black and Latinos, express discontent with Biden. Trump's criminal trial has rested for the week, and that's been the only thing that the liberal media has been talking about for the last seemingly 2 months. It's going to resume on Tuesday for closing arguments, and then Wednesday, I think they're on a recess. So it might go to the jury on Thursday or Friday, so we might have a verdict by next Friday. Of course, I'm hoping and praying for a hung jury. The chances of him getting a full acquittal probably slim to none, but there is actually a decent chance that one of the jurors is going to hold out and not go along with this BS. But don't get your hopes up too high. But don't worry, because even if he does get convicted, it's not going to matter. The indictments backfired and boosted him in the polls. If he gets convicted, it's also just going to backfire, and it's going to give him another boost, which is why I chose the promo code BACKFIRE, which you can use at markdice.com to get free shipping off of any of my shirts this whole week for Memorial Day. So get
Thanks, Mark. Appreciate that. Good stuff. That's funny. The old Andrew Dice Clay stuff was hilarious. Let's see. Let's move this one up. This will be a good one to go into next. After that, after all that, because you do have to ask, you know, you guys might have seen this one. It's from a while back.
I think there's a bell picture.
A bell, and
click the little bell.
Hold on. There we go. There's probably a bell.
I need to show for y'all.
Oh, right. I love it when it does this to me. It's like the buttons come up late. So like you're trying to pause it, you're like, okay, I'm gonna pause it. And then the back arrow pops up right where the pause button is. That's what's happening. All right. So back to stage. Check this out.
Hank, what's that? I've been thinking. You know how we're hateful, racist, misogynist white men? Sure are. I mean, that's what they tells us on the Twitters. Sure, sure. I've been thinking and pondering. It got me wondering. Maybe we ain't. What are you talking about? How so? Well, we're hateful, right? Yes, sir. I mean, they tell us we hateful. Are they right? But who do we hate? And I know there's someone. But who? Black people. Duh. Yeah, but which one? I mean, can you think of a single one you hate? Cosby. I hate Bill Cosby. But was that before or after the, you know? Ah, dang it, it was after. I loved him before that. The Cosby Show was a breakthrough in African-American representation on screen. Exactly. Dang it, shoot. What about women, though? We hate them? How so? We want to control their bodies. We're pro-life. But do we want to control their bodies? Or we care about that little baby inside their body? Dadgummit, Jim, it is the little baby that I care about. We don't want to control their bodies. I just can't deny the science of DNA, which explicitly tells us that conception is the beginning of life. Got nothing to do with their bodies. Got to do with the body of someone else. Well, shoot, dang it, Jim. Those LGBTs. You mean the LGBTQIA plus community? Yeah, hate them.
All this
Is their controlling language? Forcing each and every one of us to conform to their ever-changing, always evolving definition of words? Oh, yes, sir, I hate that. But you also think they shouldn't be allowed to identify as they want to in the first place? Come on, I don't care how they identify. Of course I don't. I'm sorry, see? We don't hate them either. I literally don't give two spits worth of chew what one identifies as. You just disagree with the method in which they engage in the culture. Yeah, with how they engage with culture. You got me. See? I'm not saying Twitter is wrong. I mean, we probably are hateful. It's got me thinking is all. White privilege. We're white, so we got the privilege we don't deserve, whether we like it or not. Oh, yeah, you're right. White privilege. Nothing we can do about that one. There, see? We hateful. So you think twice before you go running your mouth again. We got white privilege. Well, I'm going to go drop a deuce. You want me to grab you a beer while I'm in there? Nah, I'm good. Might have find white privilege out here.
Yep, that's what it is. The perfect clip for T-Rex and somebody else. The one guy, I was thinking Kaiser would work good on that one, dude. With the overalls. All right. Now we can get to the Hodge twins. Yeah. All right, here we go. This one's kind of funny. All right.
I just get my feet.
Oh, wait, hold on a second. Before I get going here, let me not forget.
It's cold. A big Vietnam. It has to do. I can't imagine a more beautiful thing. It's cold. I can tell you all about it. I mean, look at this thing. When I find out that I don't anything in.
Shelly, thank you for gifting the 5 memberships. Welcome to the winner's circle. Susie, as in Suzanne, Just Don, Kat, Crown Target, and ZD. Awesome. So happy you guys are there. And make sure you guys thank Shelly for the lovely gifted memberships. All right, here we go.
Wet. Yeah. And if that water comes up past my ankles, I'm running. Because you're wet. Yeah. I'm cognizant of that. So when I go to the beach, I just get my feet wet. Yeah. And if that water comes up past my ankles, I'm running. Because you don't want no current to grab you and drag you off the sea. Check out Jessica here at the beach. Yeah. This is crazy.
Oh, what a nice day. Look at Jessica. Jessica, what are you doing? You know you can't swim. Get away from the water, Jessica. Jessica, get away from the... Oh, my God. Somebody help Jessica, please. She can't swim. Go help Jessica, run.
She's falling down.
Jessica, no. Oh, my God. No, Jessica. No, the water is pulling her back in. Where's the lifeguard? Lifeguard, hurry up. She can't swim. Jessica, no. Jessica,
all right, so now she should be able to get up. Yeah, get up.
Lifeguard, please save her. Yes, 2 lifeguards. Save her, no. Please, Jessica. Oh, look, hey. Is that husband is coming? Hey, please, save her. Jessica.
Jessica, get your ass up. Yeah. Jesus. Jessica can't even stand. You can't swim and you can't stand. Imagine dying like that. Like that? Yeah, down like that. How it's kind of like a horror movie. You know how the Jason Voorhees just walking? The other person's running and keeps going. Jason just walking, still catching up to her. That wave just keep coming back. It's knocking the wind out of her. Just when she get her air back and try to stand up, here come the next wave. About 3 or 4 waves, like, man, it's all that's gonna take me out and drag me in the ocean. Yeah, man. That'd be a horrible way to die. That's like burning alive slowly. I think it's painless. What, drowning? Yeah, it's painless. Painless. Yeah. Now burning, that's painful. What do you think it feel like drowning? That. Ain't gonna be no pain. I'm sure there's some pain in there. Like what? Yeah, you can't breathe. That's not painful though. It's just a bunch of water in you. Yeah, that's probably feels horrible. This pain is like taking a bunch of sleeping pills. If I had to choose a way between burning or drowning, I'm just gonna go in there and drink that water. I'm gonna drink it quick. I'm gonna get it over with. I like when the lifeguard came out there, right? A little fat Mexican. A little stubby. Totally tell those 2 lifeguards are volunteers. They ain't getting paid nothing. If you want good help, you gotta pay them something. That dude went out there, seen that wave come. It's like, fuck Jessica. What real lifeguard runs away from a wave? Well, I think that's what they teach you. What do you know? You can't even swim. I know if I can swim, why would I run from a wave? You see how big that wave was? That damn wave about 5 feet, man. That wave was taller than him. He went but 3 feet. I want to see the lifeguard running again. That wave was bigger than him.
Let's
you know
watch.
What that looks like? A wave coming at you and it's taller than you. You ain't running? Suck it. Look at him. Look at that wave coming.
And he got taken down by the wave.
I know he got fired. He's supposed to be trying to save her. Well, he ain't gonna let. He left it out. He should be fired. Just on the ground like this, looking up at the wave. He said, she see the other dude running.
You think this is the end?
Well, that lifeguard sucked. No, but when they finally got Jessica, you see, I think those waves damn near pulled her underwear off. A bathing suit at the end. Watch. Yeah. Look at the very end when they helped Jessica up. I could watch this again. I don't care. I'll watch all of this. Man, beautiful and dangerous. The pretty water coming. You got a lifeguard. That's beautiful. I do see that wave.
Like all three had to get behind her
and
embraced.
Watch
Now
her
embrace
when she
her
stands up.
shoulders into it.
I'm like screaming at Jessica, you can stand up. See her? See her bottoms is almost, that damn water's pulling the bottoms off.
Yep. That's hilarious. Let's see. We did that one. Oh, yeah. A couple more. I guess the word I was looking for is the previous. You know, in this world of people switching their identity to participate in sports they can win. There's a lot of that going on these days. It's just funny how they when they commit to it, when they do it, they really buy into it, you know, like this guy.
So I just talk in this thing and it records my voice?
Yeah, it's a microphone.
Okay. Hello, my name is Norm Hiccup. I am a bicyclist, and this is my story.
Everyone knew the name Norm Hiccup in the motorcycle world. Back then, when you thought about motorcycles, you'd think Harley Davidson, you'd think two wheels, and you'd think Norm Hiccup.
Oh yeah, of course I knew Norm. You know, if there was a race, Norm was there racing and racing and racing and losing. That guy lost a lot.
Hey, guys! It's not a race! Slow down!
It was a race, and he knew that.
Great race, guys. But you shouldn't go that fast. You need to slow down.
Why are you like huffing and puffing, bro?
I don't know.
I honestly don't even know why he competed. I think he just owned a motorcycle.
He was the Michael Jordan of losing. And then the craziest thing happened.
So it was shortly after losing your, what was it, 65th motorcycle race that it happened?
Well, it's completely unrelated to losing my 65th motorcycle race.
But it happened directly after a loss, right?
Unrelated things happen after other unrelated things all the time. That's a common expression.
Why don't you just tell us what happened?
I'd always known that something about me was different. There was something wrong. It was as if I had something inside of me as a motorcyclist that I needed to let out. After a lot of thought and reflection, and in no way related to the number of motorcycle races I lost, I finally realized that my life as a motorcyclist was a lie. I was a bicyclist.
A man by the name of Norm Hiccup has made history
This is the
today.
Game of War podcast, and today we're talking about Norm
As a
Hiccup.
tractor-driving dentist, I feel Norm really represents the trans vehicle.
I love Norm.
Joining the race is Norm Hiccup. Wait, I thought he raced motorcycles.
I never felt better. Free to be my true self. Live my truth. Just be me.
And win races.
Completely unrelated. But now that you mention it, the craziest thing happened. I started winning races. Can you believe it? Things were looking up. I was finally me, the real me, and separately, coincidentally, happening at the exact same time, I'm a gold medal athlete.
I'd never seen a bicyclist like Norm. Tremendous focus, deeply motivated, and his bike had a 200 horsepower engine that could go from 0 to 60 in 3 seconds.
I remember I interviewed Norm around this time. He's a megastar, not only winning trophies left and right, but also a huge inspiration to the trans vehicle community. And I said, Norm, when did you know you were actually a bicyclist? And you know what he said? He said, I was looking at a bicycle, and I thought, my motorcycle's faster than that. That's when I knew who I was.
But the thought and the realization just happened to be at the same time. A total coincidence.
Did any of the bicyclists oppose Norm's decision? Was anyone not happy about it?
Not if they wanted to keep their livelihood or reputation. Not after Sam.
I'm Sam. I was the greatest bicyclist in the world. No one faster than me until Norm. And then all I said was, hey, this guy's a motorcycle. And the next thing I know, Teen Vogue magazine runs over my racing bike with a steamroller and kidnaps my children. I still don't know where they are.
Some people were intolerant. It's true. People have called me a hero. They said I'm inspiring. Kids look up to me. Adults lavish me with praise. But when I look in the mirror and I see that person staring back at me, the real me, all I see is all those things that I just said. I agree with it.
There you have it. So if I didn't know that story, but it's out there. Yeah, right. Why not? All right. So I got one more for you tonight, and then we're gonna jam on out. And of course, we had to include some type of cat comedy. So here you go. This guy made a song. And right then the kitten jumps up. Okay. So it must have known. He must have known. Is that what you want? Here. All right. Here we go.
Don't you know that I'm trying to get to you, trying to get through, but I don't know how to get to you. Don't you know that I'm trying to get to you, trying to get through, but I don't know how to get to you. Hey friend, I'm just checking in. Hey friend, I don't know where you've been. Hey friend, won't you let me in? Hey friend, I'm just checking in. Hey friend, I don't know where you've been. Hey friend, won't you let me in?
jamming, dude. Very nice, dude. Well done. Well done. Who's that dude? Does he have more cat jams? I just happened to find this. I threw it in the folder. Hold on. I'm talking to the right mic, aren't I? Yeah. Okay. The Kiffness subscribed 2.57 million subscribers. He won't notice it, but yep, I'm a subscriber now. Cool stuff, dude. Cool stuff. Hope he's like cool with everybody playing it. Looks like he even has some other cat songs, so I'll try to find some other good ones for us as well, and that to watch later. Cool deal. The Tuxedo Cat is awesome. Yeah, I think they are awesome. I've had a couple in my life. That's for sure. All right. So tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern, myself and the woman who thinks tuxedo cats are awesome will be back for Old School Watch Party Sundays. And it will be a surprise. Because I'm not sure what it's going to be yet. I'm thinking They Lived, maybe, for the movie. We've never done a non-comedy, but then I'm thinking, well, we've been on a roll with the comedies lately, man. I think the last one got like 3K ever on Rumble. That's awesome. Rumble loves it, so we're gonna keep pumping them out. But yeah, before we do that, let's do this. From thank you for the $10. Yes, that was the right clip. There it is. All right. Thank you so much for that. Thank you for all you do. Awesome mod. Wolfram, always on the prowl. Wipes his paws, lopes in and howls. There you go. Made a rhyme out of it. So yeah, I'm thinking maybe one of that or maybe another like related comedy. I don't know. We'll find it. We'll find out. I got to figure out what to do. I realize that we've seen most of the documentaries the old school documentaries I could find that I want to show. So I got to find new stuff. I used to have this like, yeah, okay, I got this big long list and it was like, okay, let me just find them, throw them in a folder and we're good to go. But yeah, I gotta do some research for the documentary and then think about the movie. And if you guys want those suggestions out, now's the time to do it. Let me see what am I doing over here. Oh yeah, doing this. So yeah, I'll be back 8 p.m. Eastern tomorrow night for the kickoff show, and then the featured presentations. And make sure you guys wish Shelly a happy veiled rude. Sarah, I know that would mean a lot. All right. Cool deal, guys. I hope you enjoy the night. Trump did a good job. He did a good job at the Libertarian conference. I think he did a really good job. He made his case. There were going to be people there that had closed minds and no real vision. And you know, there's those people in every crowd, aren't there? So I think he did a good job. I think Vivek's they're doing the good work too. And yeah, man, if we can get that alliance going on, it should already be going on, but if we can get it going on, we'll be doing that much better. We do that much better. All right, guys. Let me see here. I thought I put that up already. Here we go. All right, cool. All right, we're gonna jam on out, guys. We'll see you. We'll see you soon, and until next time, everybody, keep on winning.
Like hell. Red like hell.
Going over to Valhalla is next.
This is a friendship that'll never